people crew on this side start applauding, we're going to ask you to join us in applause when we come into the break and into this live moment, okay? So you'll see the camera operators start clapping. We're going to ask you to keep clapping with us, okay? Thank you.
Let's do it. 20 seconds.
Oh, and please make sure your phones are on silent or completely turned off.
Server. Still got 40 seconds after that. They came in.
Only live television. Only live.
Welcome to the 41st Annual PBS KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of Northern California's visual arts. Over 270 works of art will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite artwork. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art-auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. Auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now, let the auction begin.
Good evening. I'm David Lowe, and welcome to the 2022 PBS KVIE Art Auction. We have some incredible art for you to bid on tonight and this weekend. If you're joining us for Washington Week, please turn to our KVIE 2 channel right now. And you can also watch it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on KVIE HD, or you can stream it anytime on the free PBS video app. Every work of art in this auction was donated in support of our arts mission, and the funds raised this weekend go to support the programs and services of your PBS station, KVIE. All it takes is a phone call with a bid, and a beautiful piece of art might be in your home or office as early as Sunday. For your convenience, we're providing curbside pickup this year. Simply come to the station during these posted hours, and we can bring your art to your vehicle, all wrapped up and ready to go. You can preview the entire collection online at kvie.org/art-auction. Then when you see the piece you want, call 1-844-KVIE-ART. And we'll have volunteers here throughout the weekend who will help you bid. If you're the highest bidder, then it's yours. All right, the phone lines, they're open. Our volunteers, they're ready to take your calls. Now let's get this auction started with our first segment. Stay with us.
Coming up next is the award winners category, featuring the best of this year's auction, carefully selected by the jurors and curator. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art-auction.
This portion of the art auction is sponsored by Crow and Decker, and we would like to thank them for their commitment to supporting the arts on PBS KVIE. Over the last week, you've had the chance to vote on your favorite piece in the auction. We call it the People's Choice Award. And now the votes are in. This year's winner of the People's Choice Award goes to, volunteers, can we have a drum roll, please? I think I heard it, item 34C. Madriga by Aditi Saxena. There it is, it's on your screen, and you can bid on this award-winning artwork on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. in the figurative break. Congratulations, Aditi, and thanks to everyone who participated in the voting. We had about 500 voters participate this year, which is amazing. All right, moving on, here's an overview of the art that will be up for bid during the next half hour of award winners. Item number 1A is Monarola Chroma number 2 by Barbara Kemp. It's a watercolor, and it measures 20 by 26, has a retail value of $900, and it's a first place winner in the landscapes. Item number 1B is Walking in Berkeley by James Hartman. This is an oil on canvas measuring 30 by 30, retail value of $1,750, and this won a Jurors Award in the figurative category. Item 1C is Soul Kitchen by Catherine Erickson. This is a water oils on panel measuring 24 by 24. Retail value is $850, and it won a Jurors Award in Still Life. Item 1D is The Rose Garden by Glenna Kessler. This is an oil on board measuring 26 by 21, and it was framed by Archival Gallery. The retail value is $650, and this won a Curator's Award in the figurative category. Item 1E is Pick 2 by Polly Laporte. This is oil on board measuring 20 by 16, has a retail value of $900, and this won a Curator's Award in Still Life. And the final item in this first half hour is item 1F. It's Untitled by Douglas Zawadny, and it's glass measuring 7 by 10 round, retail value of $700, and this also won a Curator Award in Sculpture. All right, these are the pieces available this half hour. Our volunteers, they're ready to take your calls. We thank them for being here and processing your bids. Now, let's see the art.
Hi there, I'm Rob Stewart, and thank you for joining us for the award winners category. It's our first break of the auction, and we're kicking it off with some excitement. I'm pleased to be here in studio with Jill Estroff, PBS KVIE's art curator. Jill is a well-known artist and art expert in our region and has put together this weekend's collection of over 270 pieces of art from Northern California artists and California masters. It's all here for you to bid on and buy right now. Jill, it's great to see you.
It's really great to see you. I'm so glad to be back this year and to start with such a beautiful piece.
We are glad to have you back as well. What a collection. I want to tell you about this first piece right out of the gate. It is Manarola Chroma number 2 by Barbara Kemp, a gorgeous vivid watercolor measuring 20 by 26. Retail value is $900. First place landscape. Wow, fantastic piece. Tell us about this.
Well, these vibrant and exaggerated colors help you realize why it won first place. It's just so beautiful, and it lets us know how the artist herself feels about this Italian village, coastal village of Cinque Terre.
That's beautiful. I have to tell you, I've been to that spot, or I've been to Cinque Terre. It is absolutely beautiful. This little priceless piece has just captured the landscape category. It's first place in landscape. It's gorgeous. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen right now. You see the current bid on the screen as well as the retail is $900. Okay, tell us about the, you talked about where this is, but tell us about the inspiration.
Well, actually, the judge chose this because it reminds her of her own visits to Cinque Terre. And I am now planning to go there.
From this painting, wow.
Well, actually, my brother went this summer and sent me photographs, and I thought, I have to try and paint that. And then this entry came in, and I'm like, she nailed it. So I don't even need to bother, but I still want to go. And what I love about it is the difference in the very loose brushwork of the sky and the very controlled images of the buildings. She's saying that her work has evolved from more controlled to more expressive, and I love how she's able to put both things in this one painting.
It's exquisite. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen. The current bid is on auction. This is 1A Manarola Chroma by number 2, or Manarola Chroma number 2, I should say, by Barbara Kemp. Watercolor measuring 20 by 26. You see that vivid color right there on your screen. Retail is $900. First place in landscape. What else about Barbara's piece?
Well, the chroma actually refers to the high saturation of color, and it's aptly named. I think our landscape juror just loved how the wet-on-wet approach in the sky and the water contrasts with this rendering of this village that just spills down the hillside. And she thought the artist showed a lot of courage in creating a painting that you could have an emotional response to. And my response is, I love it.
Yeah, and you also, your response is you want to go there because you're going to. We're going to keep this exciting piece open as we launch the PBS KVIE art auction this year. This piece stays open, and as you know, these pieces go very quickly, so get involved and pick up the phone a friend and have them watch too, and you guys can bid against each other as well. We're going to keep this piece open and move to the next piece. Okay, the next piece is 1B. Wait till you see it. It is gorgeous. Walking in Berkeley by James Hartman. This is oil on canvas, measuring 30 by 30. Retail value is $1,750, so $1,750. Juror award for figurative. Explain.
Well, this painting is just another favorite of mine in the collection. And this particular artist won last year for Still Life. He's so versatile. But this one won because of the strong composition. And what I love is the way the figures pulling the dog and the circular motion pull the viewer through there. And James Hartman is becoming more well known in the Bay Area. I love the texture. He starts with a lot of layers of underpainting, and it's just a fabulous piece.
Was he in last year?
He was. His piece was with the flowers.
I remember.
And it had a lot of wax and encaustic.
Yes. This is
yes.
And I wanted to ask you, building on that, the texture on this is so interesting to me.
Right. I've seen a video of him painting, and he starts with a highly textured canvas.
Okay,
So
I see.
And many colors of underpainting. You can see the red colors coming through the sky, and all these techniques just add a depth and a texture that really make you fall in love with the painting.
Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen as you look right there at this exquisite painting by James Hartman. Oil on canvas, measuring 30 by 30. It's called Walking in Berkeley. It is Juror Award winner for figurative, retail value $17.50, and the current bid, as well as the phone numbers on your screen. What else? This is, I have to tell you, you mentioned about the canvas. It almost looked a little encaustic.
Yes, well, also, too, I wanted to know where this was in Berkeley, because I love to go to the Berkeley Marina, and this is near Shorebird Park. And he likes to paint with the light from the Golden Gate kind of pouring in from behind. I don't think there's encaustic in this, but
No.
it definitely has that feel. He also starts with sketches in plein air, and then he sort of finishes up in the studio.
Does it give you an impressionistic feel at all? Or?
It does, very much, and that's what our juror liked about it too. She chose it for that, and she called it post-impressionist. But she particularly just loved the circular composition, and I just think it's an amazing piece.
I love the colors and the colors that artists choose for trees and light and the pieces that pull together. And this piece would pull together any room in any home or office. The number is on your screen. Each of these little shots is such a painting in and of itself, just like that sailboat right there. We are going to keep this piece open. It's a hot piece, and move on to the next piece in the KVIE art auction. Okay, the next piece is so great as well. I'm in love with these pieces this half hour, Jill. This is 1C. These are all award winners right out of the start of the auction. 1C, Soul Kitchen by Catherine Erickson. Water oils on panel, measuring 24 by 24. Retail value is $850. This is the Juror Award for Still Life, and I love it. What about you?
I do too. I really love this vivid color and the texture that sort of create this sense of depth, even though the composition sort of seems to float on a plane. And our still life juror chose it for the wonderful impasto texture overall. She loved the bold color and how the composition is on a grid.
What's impasto?
Impasto is a thick application of paint that gives it a sculptural feel.
I see.
You can think about Jin's paintings that literally look like sculpture.
Yeah, with oil leaping off of the canvas.
Exactly, and we get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of that, particularly in this area where she says, you know, this area is more controlled, and these are sort of more organic type markings.
And I love the stove. The oven there is just so cool. And things are heating up here at the auction as well. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen. Get involved because these pieces go so fast and they are collectibles. All of the pieces this weekend are amazing. Pick up the phone and call the number on the screen to get involved with 1C Soul Kitchen by Catherine Erickson. Water oils on panel measuring 24 by 24. Retail value is $850. Juror Award Still Life. And And so I love that she has pulled so many different pieces together in this with the squares above and then the different designs in the bottom. What else?
Right. Well, it's memories of her mom's 1950s kitchen that actually had these bold red, orange tiles and the blue cabinets. And the title comes from the Doors' 1967 song, Soul Kitchen.
Oh,
Apparently,
fun.
they had music blasting all the time in her home, and that song by the Doors was one that she really loved.
I love that. Can I ask you, what does water and water oils mean?
It's a different type of medium that she prefers to work with. I think it stays open a little longer so that you can manipulate it.
Ah, okay. Open on the canvas.
Right.
Neat. Okay. It's got a fabulous texture to it, and I love the backstories that you know so well about these pieces. Final thoughts?
Just that it's such a strong and striking piece. It would make a statement in any room. It would be bold. It would read from a distance. It would be great close up. It's just, it's a wonderful piece.
Okay, thank you so much. And we are halfway through the break. We're going to keep this open, and we are going to check in over at the recap station for bidding updates.
All right, you just saw the first 3 pieces of art in break 1. Now let's review the bids on these items. Item number 1A right now has a high bid of $2,100. That is fantastic. So if you want to get in on the action, you've got to call that number on your screen right now and make a bid that is higher than $2,100. Item number 1B, it's Walking in Berkeley, has a retail value of $1,750, and we're looking for a high bid right now. It has a high bid of $1,000, so we want a little bit more on that to make it a bell ringer. What's a bell ringer? You know what? I actually went right past that because item number 1A is a bell ringer. Let's hear those bells. That means that the value has been reached and then is going beyond. That's all extra donations to KVIE. It's fantastic. We want all of these to be bell ringers. So that's Manarola Chroma number 2 has a high bid right now of $2,200. 1B Walking in Berkeley has that high bid of $1,000. And we're looking for that right now. Let's see $1,200. If you are interested in that right now, don't kick yourself in the morning because you wanted it but didn't make that call. Just make that call. It's an award winner. Who else, do you need to hear from other than the juror who said it's award winning? You could have a piece of award winning, amazing artist from the Bay Area in your home or office. Now let's check in with item number 1C. This is Soul Kitchen. Rob and Jill were just talking about it. Has a retail value of $850. Right now has a high bid of just $400. I'm saying just $400 because you can come in right now, make that phone call, and you could probably get a bid for $450, $500. You're going to be the leader in the bidding war right there. It could be you, but all you have to do is pick up the phone and call that number. We take major credit cards. It's very simple. You just give the phone number, and it's that simple. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a try, and you can be the winning bidder for 1C. Right now only has a bid of $400, and we're looking for that to go up. Actually, it just has another bid. It's going to update real quick for $425. So if you are interested, you're going to need to call and make that higher. Okay, now let's head back to the art and see the rest of our first break with Rob and Jill.
All right, we're back with the second half of this award winners category, continuing with item 1D, The Rose Garden by Glenna Kessler. This is oil on board, measuring 16 by 24 inches, framed by Archival Gallery, and has a retail value of $550. Jill, what a beautiful piece. What strikes you first?
Well, when it came in, I just loved the direct gaze, the posture, the beauty of the subject, and her confidence as she's looking at us. The composition of the roses and the other flowers, they circle the canvas, but it always brings your eye back to the woman in the rose garden.
Look at her eyes. This is such a beautiful piece of art. It can be yours by picking up the number on the screen. You see the current bid on the screen right now for this award winner. Retails for $650 by Glenna Kessler, The Rose Garden. And I just love the composition of this painting with all the roses as well as the brightest rose in the picture, and that's the lady.
Well, at first I thought it was the poet in the rose garden, the young poet Amanda Gorman speaking at the at the inauguration inspired this painting, but it's actually a portrait of someone else. And the artist explained that the power of Gorman's delivery, not just the words, made her feel so much better that she wanted to sort of paint this image at the height of the pandemic.
I love that. So this was inspired by Amanda Gorman's beautiful poem at the presidential inauguration.
Right.
That's
right.
wonderful. How fantastic. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen. And Amanda Gorman has family all over our region, by the way. And this can be yours by calling the number and making a bid. And this can be yours as early as just a couple of days from now. All right, this is Rose Garden by Glenna Kessler, inspired by the wonderful poet Amanda Gorman. Oil on board, measuring 26 by 21, framed by Archival Gallery. This is the Curator Award for Figurative, and it is a retail value for $650. What else do you have?
Well, this is part of a series that she's doing of female figures and flowers. She works in the winter months up to 4 to 5 hours a day. She said a painting can take a week or two to finish.
Wow.
And she just found during the height of the pandemic that it was soothing to sort of paint this combination portrait and flowers.
We've heard a lot of evolvement and evolving pieces from artists during the pandemic. As artists do, they can turn anything into expression. And I love that. This piece can be yours by picking up the phone, calling the number on your screen. I want to tell you again, this is 1D. If you're just tuning in, this is the PBS KVIE art auction. The Rose Garden is up for bid right now by Glenna Kessler. Oil on board, measuring 26 by 21, framed by Archival Framing. Retail value is $650, and this is the Curator Award for Figurative. Final thoughts.
Well, just that I can't help but think that Glenna was influenced by her travels. She lived in Zurich for 13 years. She went to Europe to look at the art, and I think you can see influences of all the different things she took in her travels.
Awesome. That's beautiful. We're going to keep this piece open and move on to the next piece in the PBS KVIE art auction. Our next piece is 1E. I have to tell you, this is one of my favorites. We're not supposed to say that, but this is Pick 2 by Polly Laporte. Oil on board, measuring 20 by 16. Retail value is $900. Curator Award for Still Life. And this is a beautiful piece. Wait till you see the little lines and shapes up close. So tell us about this piece by Polly Laporte.
Yes, I chose it because I'm a big fan of Polly's work. I first met her in a painting workshop at Patrice Studio, and she can paint anything. I love her approach. She's inspired by Wayne Thiebaud.
I see that.
You can see that, his bowls of fruit. But her grandmother, Ethel Nerger, has paintings in the Crocker. So this runs in the family, this ability to create and paint art. So,
wow.
And so following in her grandmother's footsteps, she also likes to use these intense colors and the shapes. Seeing this type of thing just makes her want to capture the energy. And I particularly love the red frame. I might not have thought of it, but it's perfect. It brings out all the colors here and in the cup. So
the blues and the yellows in this piece just blow me away, and I always love seeing the extra pops on here. This can be yours by picking up the phone and calling the number on the screen. There you see those beautiful pieces we're talking about. This is Polly Laporte's piece of art, Pick 2 as it's called, oil on board, measuring 20 by 16, retail value $900, and it received your Curator Award for Still Life. I love the angles. Can you talk about that?
Yes, well, she's creating shadows in a very definite way, a la Wayne Thiebaud, which is great, but she's really making it her own. I like that first she works on a drawing and then she paints directly from the setup. And she likes to add the line work that adds the character to each shape. And this was done a la prima, wet on wet, from life. And these bold colors and outlines are typical of Polly's work.
Wet on wet. So that means just literally painting it as it goes.
Right, exactly.
Not waiting on something to dry.
Right.
Interesting. I know that sounds basic, but I do have to ask. The blue that pops out in the fruit is just, I love those things that artists do that make them uniquely who they are. This is Polly Laporte, oil on board, measuring 20 by 16, retail value $900. This is a hot piece, curator award for still life. And tell me, when you said you picked this piece, and I know that it just said so much to you, I also see some of your work in this.
Oh, thanks. Well, the use of vivid color and,
Yeah.
and a bright palette is something that I'm drawn to as well.
I'm
Yeah.
lucky to have two pieces that I've bought of yours in my house. So we're going to keep this piece open. Polly, thank you. This is a great piece. We're going to keep this one open as you see the excitement on the screen and move on to the next piece in the auction. The next item is 1F. This is beautiful. It's called Untitled by Douglas Zawadny, and this is glass measuring 7 by 10 round. Retail value is $700. Curator award for sculpture. So 7 by 10 round. 7 high and 10 round at the top. And this is 2 pieces. It's sitting on this base.
Right. It is.
Okay,
It
I'm going to
is.
turn this while we talk about it, and I will be gentle with it because as we are with all of the art. Tell us about this.
Well, he said that his inspiration for this piece was the colors of the spring season.
It's glass.
And that his designs are created somewhat randomly because he uses something called a slab technique, which is taking these strips of glass and fusing them. He said he used 2 different plate designs for this with a sheer clear glass in the center.
It looks like the beauty of California's landscapes from the
It
sky.
does, and just the different patterns inside and out. You really want to have this somewhere in your home where you can admire it from all angles.
Look how pretty that is, Jill. I mean, this is just exquisite. It's also 2 pieces, and right here you see the base of it that it sits on. This is item 1F, Untitled, but it sure screams beauty, by Douglas Zawadny. Glass, measuring 7 by 10, 10 round at the top. Retail value is $700. Cure award for sculpture. Tell me why.
Well, I love that even though this artist has worked in watercolor, acrylics, and ceramics for the last 20 years, he's more or less self-taught in making these fabulous glass sculptures. He basically took a 3-day course from a glass supplier, and since then he's won merit awards at the California State Fair Fine Arts Competition, and it's really easy to see why his work would command attention.
Look how beautiful that is. Would you put this indoors or outdoors? I would imagine indoors.
I'd have it indoors. I mean, it could go outdoors, but you'd want to keep it clean and letting the glass shine the way that it does.
Look at that beautiful view. Bang, right there. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. I also think it'd be beautiful with a light on it if it was on a shelf or something and you could to have it lit. It's just gorgeous. But we're going to keep this piece open. A lot of excitement this half hour. You have done such a good job. We love this, and we're nearing the end of this break, which means it's now your opportunity, the last opportunity to bid on the art featured in this half hour, but so much more is to come. Jill and I will be back together in just a few minutes for the next segment, but now let's head over to our recap station for an update on this artwork up for bid.
And now you've seen all of the art in our first award winners break, and now it's time to finish off the bidding. All of these items right now are open and waiting for your call and your bid. Let's check in with item number 1D. This is Rose Garden by Glenna Kessler. And right now we have a high bid of $800. Guess what? That is a bell ringer. You can see Kenny the Owl right there. And that means that we've gone over the retail value, but we're not done yet. So if you'd like to call right now and make a bid and try to be the winning bidder for the Rose Garden, you've got to do it now. Call the number on your screen. Item number 1E is Pick 2 by Polly Laporte, and that's oil on board. And right now has a bid of $500. Actually just came in at $525. We're going to update on your screen momentarily. But pretty far from that retail value, so that means there's room for you to call right now and try to get the winning bid on item number 1E, Pick 2 by Polly Laporte. Call now, don't regret it in the morning. Now item 1F, that's what Rob and Jill were just talking about. This is Douglas Zawadny, and you saw how vibrant those colors were. It's just a great piece. It really stands out. And look around your home right now and try to imagine where you would put it. And then all you have to do is call and be the winning bidder. And then as early as Sunday, you can pick that up and put that in your home. Right now it has a high bid of $600, really close to becoming a bell ringer right there. But it takes you to pick up the phone and make that bid. Now we're going to go all the way back. Item number 1A, Manarola Chroma number 2, has a high bid. You ready for this? $3,100 right now. It's not closed yet. The Cinque Terre is waiting for someone, and it could be you. You have to make a bid right now of probably about $3,200, and that'll put you in there. Item number 1B, Walking in Berkeley, retail value of $1,750. A bid right now, we have a high bid of $1,500, so close to becoming a bell ringer. That person right now, of course, wants to be the winning bidder, but you can possibly do that by making a call right now. Item 1C, Soul Kitchen, retail value of $850. High bid right now is $600, so there's still room for you or frankly anyone else who wants to call and make that bid. But I actually am talking to you. Pick up that phone and make that bid. Item 1D is the Rose Garden, has the retail value of $650, and as you can see is sitting at a current high bid of $800. Item 1E is Pick 2 and has a retail value of $900, high bid currently of $575. We're going to update that momentarily, but that can be you at $600. And then 1F, Untitled, has a high bid of $800, so that just became a bell ringer as well. All right, stay with us. There's more art coming up in the next half hour of the PBS KVIE Art Auction.
What's wrong with following the proven method? Isn't that the surest way to produce satisfactory results? Today, simply producing satisfactory results isn't good enough. We live in a rapidly changing landscape. Those changes require new solutions. Innovation challenges the idea that old solutions will continue to solve today's problem.
PBS KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through national productions like Poldark and Victoria, to our local productions like KVIE Arts Showcase and the PBS KVIE Gallery, exhibiting award-winning art auction artists and California masters. PBS KVIE's commitment to the arts stays strong because of your participation as a donor and art buyer. Thank you for being a part of the PBS KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Coming up next is the Light and Color category. This half hour explores technique with an emphasis of light and color in a variety of media. View all of the art featured in this year's collection at kvie.org/artauction.
And we're back with our next category. Here's an overview of the artwork that's going to be up for bid during this next half hour. Item number 2A is Winter at West Pond by Beth Savage. Its photography, measuring 36 by 30, has a retail value of $475, and this won a Jurors Award in the photography category. Item 2B is Two Labs in a Truck by Deborah Clausen, and its watercolor, measuring 30 by 22, has a retail value of $575, and this won a Jurors Award in the figurative category. Item 2C is Ravens at Lunch by Charlotte Cooper. This is in caustic, measuring 36 by 36, has a retail value of, I've got $750. We're seeing $400 there, but it's actually $750 confirmed, so we'll talk more about that. Item 2D is Paw Walk by Judy Lou Luce. It's a watercolor measuring 18 by 24, has a retail value of $1,400 and is waiting for its first bid. Item 2E is Evermore by Diane Hill. It's photography measuring 22 by 28, has a retail value of $400. Item 2F is Loving the Journey by Milo, and it's acrylic on canvas measuring 12 by 36, has a retail value of $1,800. You can call right now and get those bids in. These are all the works available for bid this half hour. Let's see the art with Rob and Jill.
Hi there, I'm Rob Stewart, and thank you for joining us for our next category, Light and Color. During this break, I'm pleased to be back once again with art expert and PBS KVIE art curator Jill Estroff. Great to see you.
Great to be here.
So glad you're here. And let's get started with this beautiful piece of art. 2A, Winter at West Pond by Beth Savage. This is photography measuring 36 by 30. Retail value $475. Jurors Award for photography. I see why, but you can tell us why.
Me too, yes. Our photography juror, Andres Alvarez, who's a wonderful photographer himself, said that he admired the captivating contrast and the rhythm of the colors, sort of a play between abstraction and still life. And although the initial focal point is centered, he said the eye wanders with the exploding yellows, and I think you can see that.
I can, and it took me a second to really soak all this in because it looked to me like some of it was paint and some of it was photography. It's just the manipulation of this beautiful piece of art, and the current bid is on your screen right now, as well as all the information for you to get involved in the auction. Pick up the phone and call and get involved. Have someone join you as well. Call someone and have them hop on. This is 2A at Winter at West Pond by Beth Savage. Photography measuring 36 by 36. Retails for $475. And I'll tell you again, it's the Juror Award for Photography. Look at that gold, Jill. It just jumps.
It's really lovely. It's really lovely. And she often walks near West Pond in Davis, and she said that she knew it was an opportunity because it was unusually full after record rainfall, and making these reflections of the trees just really powerful. And the reason they're rippled is that there were geese off camera, I started to say, but off to the side that made those ripples. It disturbed the water just enough to make what she wanted to capture.
I love the backstory. I love it when you tell us more about what you know, because you've worked so closely with all of these artists. And you can have this piece by being the winning bidder. This is a large art sale this weekend. We have 270 pieces, a lot of art. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen, and take this home with you. What else do you have about this?
Well, I think it exemplifies that opportunities for photographs are always present, and being very familiar with your surroundings, you know when these come up. It really, knowing the seasons and the moods, and the high water and the dark December days just drew her out many times, but this was the day where the reflection was just right so she could capture that.
It's so interesting, Jill. The more and more that I look at it, the more I see. You can see, farther back in, you can see just so much, and you can see that reflection right there in the water. It's just spectacular. Pick up the phone, get involved in the auction. The number is on the screen, as well as your current bid, and it retails for $475. We're going to keep this piece open and move on to the next piece in this half hour. That piece is 2B. And if you love dogs or someone that does, this is just fantastic. It's 2B, and it's Two Labs in a Truck by Deborah Clausen. Watercolor measuring 30 by 22. Retail value $575. I'm shocked that that's watercolor. I don't know why, but I am. And this is the Juror Award, and it's the Juror Award for Figurative. Isn't it gorgeous? Tell us about this fun piece. It reminds me of my dogs.
Yes. You're surprised that it's watercolor because it's such a masterful application where she has the blurred part and then the very sharp contrast of just capturing them very well. But what I love about it, in addition to the mastery, is the humor. And Deborah gave us a favorite piece last year. You may remember the lab, or the golden with a water toy in its mouth. That was very popular. So this is her submission this year. But she was chosen because of the way she was able to keep the edges on the subject matter and focused on the main subject. The warm and cool colors and the dog's fur, and the skillful way she cropped in the truck. She just zoomed in and gave us just the information that we need.
That is such a glimpse of joy, and those are the things that stay in your heart with your pets, whether they are here or not. This is a beautiful watercolor, 2 Labs in a Truck by Deborah Clausen, measuring 30 by 22. Look at that fun expression. It's almost like the dog's going, woo! You know how they do sometimes when things go by. Retail value is $575, and the Juror Award for figurative.
Well,
tell me about what you feel the mood is she's capturing.
Well, she said to her it looked like a very young dog was barking and carrying on, and an older dog, maybe the mom, was just sort of sitting there rolling its eyes. And it made her laugh. And so you really get the humor in this piece. So I love that about it.
I love that you told us that, because it does look like the one in the back is like, here we go again. Here we go again. This item can be yours. It is for sale right now, and this is a highly collected piece, as all of our artists are. This is an incredible detail, which is why I just was so blown away and captivated by it. Tell me what else you'd like to share.
Well, just that she's been exhibiting for 25 years, Gold Country Artist Gallery in Placerville and at the 4th Street Fine Art Gallery in Berkeley. So she's a well-regarded, highly collected artist in our area.
Yeah, and I love looking, like as you said, just the edges of that truck that she painted in are just so beautiful. The blue and the red there as well. We're gonna tell you one more time about this piece. It's 2B, item 2B, and it's 2 Labs in a Truck by Deborah Clausen. This is watercolor, measuring 30 by 22, retails for $575, and the Juror Award for figurative. We're gonna keep this piece open, lots of excitement in this half hour, and move on to the next piece. The next piece is 2C. Wow. Every time I walk by, I say that, I'm sorry. I'm constantly blown away. This is 2C Ravens at Lunch by Charlotte Cooper. This is encaustic, measuring 36 by 36. The retail value is $750, and this is a nice, big piece of art. Tell me about first impressions.
Well, first of all, I think it's highly underpriced. I'll just say
I was thinking that myself.
I'll just say that it was inspired by a walk in the sequoias, and as the artist was leaving the General Sherman tree, she noted this large raven off to the side, sort of turning bark and leaves over in midday, and she assumed having lunch. And then she added the second pose because she said it's what's between the figures that's so important. And what I love is that you can almost see her working out the composition. I love that there are lines around the legs. There's so much movement in this piece. These ravens are alive. You know, they really are.
They are alive, and so is the action on this auction. The action on this auction. Grab the phone and call the number on your screen, because these pieces go so fast, and they're only open for a matter of minutes, and then they fly by, pun intended. That's 2C Ravens at Lunch by Charlotte Cooper. This is encaustic, measuring 36 by 36, and the retail value is $750. What else do you want to say about this? I love this, and you're right about the price.
Well, she begins with a graphite drawing underneath on primer, and then she'll add beeswax and resin. She actually encouraged me to touch it, which from my Crocker Art Museum days I would never do, but she's made a point of saying that as long as a piece that's encaustic is not in direct sunlight, it's very stable. And she also talked about portraits in wax that have lasted over 2,500 years. But
wow.
Charlotte, I'm not going to touch it.
You know, and caustic, it can last so long that some of the things in the pyramids, I'm told, have some of that as well,
right,
on those vivid colors.
Right.
This is a beautiful piece. And say that one more time, our producers. This is a California Masters. This is fantastic. Tell me why.
Yes, well, actually in another life she was a writer, but Charlotte loves making art because she feels that it's creating without language, but I would disagree and say that there's something so poetic.
I would too, even the lines.
Ravens at Lunch, and yeah, I just love the movement and all this detail in here. You almost can see the General Sherman behind it. I mean, you can leave it up to your imagination. What is this?
And it was so threatened by so many different situations with
right,
fire and with nature, and yet it's almost like they're all in cahoots to protect it. I love that. This piece is beautiful, and it is on the screen right now. This is Ravens at Lunch by Charlotte Cooper. It is encaustic, measuring 36 by 36, and the retail value is $750. Okay, we are halfway through the break, which means we're going to keep this piece open and check in over at the recap station for bidding updates while you call in and place your bids.
All right, you've seen the first 3 works of art in this light and color break. Let's review the bids. Item 2A is Winter at West Pond. Guess what? We already have a bell ringer. Has a retail value of $475, and right now it has a high bid of $625. Hopefully we're going to pull it up so we can see it, but that's going to be item 2A, Winter at West Pond. Look at that. Maybe we can ring some bells, although the volunteers, they're on the phone right now. There we go. We've got that. And high bid right now of $625, but it's still open. You can call in and jump in on the action. Item 2B is 2 labs in a truck. And guess what? Also a bell ringer right now. Has a current high bid of $600, but you can call right now. The number on your screen, it's 844 KVIE Art. The digits are right there so you can see them and do it easily. Jump in and become the high bidder with your call. And then we have item number 2C, Ravens at Lunch. That's that very large encaustic piece that you just saw. Has a current high bid of $700. And that's almost a bell ringer because, as we mentioned before, the value on that is actually $750. That is confirmed. So if you call in right now and make that bid of $750, you will make that a bell ringer. So those are the first 3 items right now. They're open for bidding. Item number 2A, we're going to talk about that again. Winter at West Pond has a current high bid of $650. Item 2B is 2 labs in a truck, has a high bid of $600. You can jump in on the action by making a bid that's higher than that. And 2C, Ravens at a Lunch, has that high bid of $700. You're going to want that large encaustic piece in your home. I know it, but you got to make a call and make it happen. 844 KVIE Art, the digits on your screen. Remember, every bid that you make sure that we are raising the dollars we need to be able to run this station 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and actually more than 24 hours because we have 4 channels. So if you add them all up, it's incredible. We are serving everybody in the region. It's not just Sacramento, it's Stockton, it's Modesto, it's all parts in between and beyond. And you are helping to make it happen with every bid. All right, let's head back to see some more art featured in this break.
All right, we're back with this second half of this category, and we're looking at item 2D, Paw Walk by Judy Lulus. This is watercolor measuring 24 by 18 inches and has a retail value of $1,400. Take it away. What a fun piece.
Well, we're so glad to have another piece by Judy this year. She won a Jurors Award last year. This one has so much humor and affection, and I love that it is painted from the dog's perspective. You know, the focus is on this canine's gaze with a human just as a background figure.
I love that too. May I ask you, is the background done first and then the dots added, or is it all? It's just such a composition, I can't tell.
That's a really good question. But what I love about this painter, she kind of pioneered watercolor pointillism.
Ooh.
Other people have done it in oil, the most famous being Seurat, but she has done this for more than 20 years and initially was having a little trouble getting accepted into traditional watercolor societies. Now they've recognized how innovative her work is, and I just love it.
I do too. I mean, I'm really drawn into it, and I love, like you said, the perspective of the dog. All of it leads to that. It's just so neat. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen, and Paw Walk by Judy Lulus can be yours. Look at that adorable expression. Watercolor measuring 24 by 18. Retail value is $1,400. And you probably know this, but when we say the measurements, we're starting with the height and then we go to the width. So 24 by 18. Okay, tell us more about this piece.
Just that she's so inspired about the strong connection between animals and their humans. You know, the bond is inseparable. And when she was walking through a farmer's market, she saw this person walking these 3 dogs and just asked if she could start snapping photos. And she did, and she took many and then worked out this composition from them.
What a beautiful piece, and see, those colors are just so vivid, and her style and technique really is one to be highly noted. This is Paw Walk by Judy Lulus, watercolor measuring 24 by 18. Look at that on your screen. If you're in the other room and you're not looking, come in and take a look at this piece if you hear us, because it's exquisite. Retails for $1,400. And look, I mean, with the animal pieces, sometimes I just want to stare. But don't stare too long because they go fast.
And all the shadows she renders, you know the direction of light. It's really masterful how she's put it all together, I think.
I absolutely love it. This, you said, was she took a picture real quick of something she saw in the farmer's market, and she brought this to life. All of the proceeds go to PBS KVIE to bring the programming that you have so come to love and enjoy and depend on, and we thank you for that. We are going to keep this piece open, and you see the excitement there on the screen. I'll remind you that the retail is $1,400 for Paw Walk. The next piece is item 2E. It follows you as you walk by it, and I love that it's the light that does that. This is Evermore by Diane Hill. This is photography measuring 28 by 22. The retail value is $400. What a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. Take it away.
Well, if it feels spiritual to you, and it does to me, it's for a reason. Diane captured this image 6 years to the day from losing her mom, and she just really felt her presence there. But more than that, I think we've all been hiking, lucky enough to be hiking, when the sun is just behind a tree and it's filtering through the atmosphere, but not all of us are able to capture it in quite this way.
I love what you said about the anniversary of her mother's passing, and I do want to say that there's been so much loss, especially during the pandemic. What a great way to honor someone by buying this and giving it to someone who's been through a tremendous loss. But also, it brings tremendous joy, because look at the light on the screen right there. Evermore by Diane Hill, photography measuring 28 by 22, retails for $400. I would love to hear more about the feeling that it gives you, because you're such a deep person.
Oh, thanks. Well, I love that this has, exploring nature has sort of helped this particular artist through COVID. I've said that we're going to get through all of this with music, art, and the outdoors. Well, this combines at least two of those. And she considers it trail therapy at its finest.
Oh, I love that, trail therapy.
Yeah, she's always prepared. With a, when you have an iPhone, you're able to do wonderful things, and that was taken with an iPhone. Photography is still new to her. Early COVID is when she started hiking the trails alone, and then being able to share her observations, brightening people's days, focusing on the positive. That's what she was trying to do.
See it popping through there, and I think it's also really special to say that art is so open to your interpretation. Whatever this piece makes you feel is your story, and that's the story of art. What else?
Just that this would really brighten any room and make it glow. I mean, I'd love to have something like that. I take many photographs, but I haven't captured anything quite like this.
Yeah, I haven't either. I have 340,000 photographs on my phone, and I've not gotten one thing like this. This is Evermore by Diane Hill, a beautiful piece, and it's just filled with light and so much excitement. Photography measuring 28 by 22. The retail value is $400. It is ready to go, nicely framed, and boom, that gorgeous expression of the sun popping through the trees can be yours if you are the winning bidder. You can't do that unless you pick up the phone and get involved in the auction. We're going to keep this piece open, so much fun this half hour, and move on to the next item. The next item is 2F, Loving the Journey. And I wish I could just lift this right off the panel and take it with me, but it just doesn't work that way. It's for you. It's by Milo. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 12 by 36. What a gorgeous acrylic on canvas. Retail value is $1,800. And this is another California master that we are bringing right into your home. Wow, wow, wow. I love it. Do you?
I do. It has such a fresh approach to the California landscape, and I love that you can see that she uses a combination of palette and brushwork to get this thick and vibrant look to her piece.
It's so interesting. Up close and then farther away are just so different. It's constantly evolving and moving as you work your way around the piece. And I love the fact that it shows the beauty of California. This just really can, as California do, take your breath away.
Well, the orange and the blue just really pop, and yet she has these cool colors here. It just invites the eye to move, and this format is really wonderful for landscape because you just include what you need. There's no excess foreground. It just feels so much like the horizons that we're lucky enough to see.
Painting panorama, if you will. Do you know anything about her technique?
Just that she will begin with a palette and then go in lightly with the brush stroke to create these other vibrant colors and textures.
It reminds me of some of Pat Mahoney's recent work, too.
Oh, a little bit, that's true. The quality of infinite space, the rolling hills, that's what she's trying to capture here.
Well, she did a great job. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen. There you see the beautiful piece of art by Maya Lowe, and it's on your screen right now. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 12 by 36. Retail value is $1,800, and again, this is Loving the Journey by Maya Lowe, and that journey right there shows you how much there is to love about it in California, because the California colors are spectacular.
I think she's also talking about her journey as an artist because initially she was very influenced by the Dutch school when she lived in the wide open spaces of the African landscape. She lived there and painted there for 30 years, but the light here in Northern California where she is now, you can see she's really done a great job of capturing that.
Absolutely, I love it. It is a beautiful piece, and Jill just mentioned the capturing the light. Look at the light and the colors on your screen right now, or your monitor or your phone, however you're watching this. The colors are exquisite, and this California master has done an amazing job at capturing the light, not only of the skies, but of her journey as well. We are involved in the auction, lots of action going on, and we're so excited. We're nearing the end of this break, which means now is your last opportunity to bid on the art featured in this half hour. You have to move really fast because it goes that way. I'd like to thank our art expert, Jill Estroff, for sharing her expertise with us and for putting together the entire auction collection this weekend as the station's art curator. I think it's the best yet. So great to have you here, Jill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's check in over at the recap station for an update.
All right, we are back for the recap of all of the works featured during this light and color category. Here we go. We're actually going to start with item 2D, and this is Paw Walk by Judy Lou Luce. And it's a watercolor, and you can see right now has a bid of $450. So if you want to jump in on the action, a bid of $500 will make you the top bidder right now. So call that number on your screen. Don't let it get away. Item 2E, Evermore by Diane Hill. You can see that that is a bell ringer. Kenny's probably going to be coming in because we have a current high bid of $475. A bid that's just slightly higher is going to put you in the driver's seat to try to take that home. And then item 2F that Rob and Jill were just talking about, Loving the Journey by Maya Lowe. You can see it has a high bid of $950. That is 3 feet wide. That is a great looking painting that as you look in your walls, you can see where it might go. Has a bid of $950, well below the value right now. So we expect to see a lot of action on that one. You're gonna call though to make it happen. Now let's go all the way back to item number 2A, Winter at West Pond. That is a bell ringer. You can see current high bid at $800, but it's not closed yet. So you can call right now and try to jump in on that bidding. Item 2B is 2 Labs in a Truck. Also the bell ringer right there, but you can make a bid higher than $650 and you can become the leading bidder in that and hope that you might be able to take it home. Item 2C, Ravens at Lunch, that's the encaustic piece and has a current high bid of $1,000, but it's not closed yet. So you can call right now And it is, of course, a bell ringer because the value on that, remember, is $750. Don't pay attention to what you saw on your screen there. And you can jump in and be a high bidder. Actually, we just got a bid for $1,050, so we're going to need to see $1,100 now to be that. It's a bidding war, right? That's what an auction is. We want to see a lot of people calling in right now. Item 2D is, again, Paw Walk, and has a current high bid of $450. Remember, it's a good sized watercolor right there. Envision where it might go in your home or office and then make that call. Don't let it slip away. Item 2E is Evermore. Has a high bid of $475. It's a great photograph, and you can see that is just an amazing piece. It's almost like having a new window in your home or office that you can look out. Just a wonderful story behind it. And isn't it great to know a little bit more about some of the art that you have in your home? Well, that's what you have when you take home anything in the KVIE art auction, because you got to hear all about it. And then, of course, item 2F, Loving the Journey by Maya Lowe, has a $1,000 bid. A lot of happy colors in there, right? I mean, look at the blues and the oranges, and that is going to show really well. She wants you to feel peace and joy. And you know what? I wish this was in our California's Gold category, which is coming up, of course, later in the auction, because then I could have used my Huell Hauser impersonation. It would have been great. But right now, that's in the light and color. And of course, you can see why. Such a great piece, has a high bid of $1,100 that just came in. So you're going to need to move that forward and make a bid of just $1,200 because, and I say just because it's below the retail value. Stay with us. There's more art coming up in the next half hour of the PBS KVIE Art Auction.
Welcome to the 41st Annual PBS KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of Northern California's visual arts. Over 270 works of art will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite artwork. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art-auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. Auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now, let the auction begin. Bidding on items in the art auction is quick and easy to do. First, explore the collection online at kvie.org/art-auction, or keep watching PBS KVIE. When a piece of art catches your eye, call 1-844-KVIE-ART and a volunteer will assist you. KVIE accepts all major credit cards for your art purchase, and a member of our accounting team will confirm your payment within 5 minutes of item sale. Thank you for being a part of the PBS KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Coming up next is artwork from Archival Gallery. Open since 1983, Archival Gallery features monthly fine art exhibitions, decorative art gifts, public art murals, and picture framing services for businesses and home consumers. The gallery is open every week in East Sacramento. View all of the art featured in this year's collection at kvie.org/art-auction.
Hello, I'm Dee Neath, and thank you for joining us for this break featuring artists from Archival Gallery. This portion of the art auction is sponsored by Crow & Decker, and we would like to thank them for their generous commitment to supporting the arts on PBS and KVIE. And now, here's an overview of the art that will be up for bid during the next half hour. Item number 3A is the Delta King Island Fields by favorite Richard Stein. This is an acrylic on canvas, and it's a big one measuring at 60 inches by 48. The retail value is $3,400. Item 3B is Ladder Acrobats by Early Swanson. This is a mixed media measuring 35 by 7 and has a retail value of $450. Item 3C is Coney Grouper by Maria Winkler. This is an acrylic on paper and measures 21 by 29. It has a retail value of $800. Item number 3D is Cityscapes Diptych by William Peterson. This is a ceramic measuring 16 by 27, and it was framed by Archival Gallery. The retail value is $800. Item number 3E is Boxed by the late Lorene Landau. This is a mixed media measuring 40 by 60 inches. It was also framed by Archival Gallery and has a retail value of $5,200. Item number 3F is 5 Pennies for the Fates by Sacramento favorite Cory Okada. This is an oil on canvas and it measures 42 by 18 and it has a retail value of $800. Now let's head over to see the art with Rob and Athena.
Hi there, I'm Rob Stewart, and thank you for joining us for this segment featuring artwork from Archival Gallery. During this break, I'm pleased to be joined by Athena Alber. Athena is an abstract and portrait artist whose work primarily is with acrylic paint and with mixed media on canvas. In addition to her artistic pursuits, Athena serves as the frame shop manager for Archival Gallery. Athena, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. We will get started with 3A, a beautiful piece, a huge piece from Richard Stein. This is 3A. Look at that. The Delta King Island Fields. It's by Richard Stein. Acrylic on canvas measuring 60 by 48, so it's big. Retail value is $3,400. First of all, first impressions, and what inspired, do you think, Richard to do this?
Well, Richard has an engineering background, and he actually used to do aerial surveys. So much of his work is actually all the different views from an aerial perspective of California's agriculture, orchards, fields. So you could definitely see that influence from the surrounding Sacramento region.
You know, I did not know that he was an engineer, and it shows because everything is just, it's such a cool viewpoint of this painting. Tell me, I see lots of different materials or techniques, it looks like. Can you tell me about that?
Well, Richard actually uses primarily acrylic paint, but in terms of trying to get all these textures and colors that you see here, he does color blocking, which is painting certain solid backgrounds, and then he goes in with thicker paints. And he actually uses a lot of great tools, materials, anything that he can find around the studio, especially broken combs.
Really?
To get these features that you see here.
Well, it takes a lot of work to get the artist's work on canvas and whatever it takes, right? Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen to get involved in the PBS KVIE art auction. Look at this. It's the Richard Stein piece. This is one you do not want to miss an opportunity on. Pick up the phone and call the number on your screen. $3,400 is the retail value, and the current bid is on your screen. Richard's been involved for quite a few years here. Tell me about that.
Richard's been showing for about several years now. He just actually had a show at our gallery not so long ago. It was pretty successful.
Nice.
And a fun thing about Richard is when he makes large-scale paintings like this, he actually makes puzzles to give to the customer that they can put together that is a replica of his actual artwork.
And you know what? They're actually going to be accompanying this piece as well. So just a little tidbit on that. And this is beautiful. I love that he has that interactive experience with people who buy this art. That could be you if you pick up the phone and call the number on the screen. You see your current bid there. The retail is $3,400. Where does he paint?
So Richard actually has a spare bedroom in his house that is his studio. And even though there is some large-scale pieces like this, he makes do.
Okay, this is a big piece. This is a spectacular piece. It's been catching so many eyes here at the station during the weeks leading up to this. And you mentioned something about his framing.
So Richard actually creates his own frames. As you can see here, the beautiful accent colors that he throws in. This is all handmade by Richard.
Wow. I just saw the red behind here. Now, you're the frame shop manager at Archival Gallery, so did he do a good job?
I think he did a wonderful job. Every piece that we've shown has some little bit of color pop that really accents the piece and makes it just shine and looks good in your home.
I like that. I didn't notice it until you pointed that out, so thank you very much on that. We're going to keep this piece open. So much excitement. Don't wait too long before picking up the phone and getting involved because the pieces and the segments move just like that. We'll keep this open and move on to the next piece. The next piece is 34B. This is a fun piece by Early Swanson. Ladder Acrobats. It's so much fun. It's mixed media measuring 35 by 7. Retail value $450, and there it is. It's absolutely beautiful. I would love to know what inspired such a cool piece.
Well, Early has some wonderful pieces. He usually likes to use the acrobats and the emotion and the joyfulness of it all, especially with the risk, because if anyone's ever been to the circus, you see those crazy people all up on those, ladders, jumping up and down.
Cirque du
from heights.
Soleil.
Oh yeah, and this really, really expresses that movement and that risk involved, and it really plays off on, the bronze patina that he has on here with the accents. You can see the texture.
Oh yeah. That's
so
beautiful.
The further up you look, the more interest you get.
And you mentioned risk. This is new for Early, doing something like this.
So he primarily did oil and acrylic paintings beforehand, and he started venturing into making sculptures, and he hopes that one day he can do large-scale sculptures that can maybe be in a school or a park.
I think he knocked it out of the park with this one, and that's really neat to hear about the large-scale ones coming down the road. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen. There you see the beautiful Ladder Acrobats on your screen by Early Swanson, mixed media, measuring 35 by 7. And then there you see one of those acrobats right there. Retail value $450, current bid on the screen. Tell me about, as far as the inspirations, and you mentioned the circus, you mentioned fun and daring things, but what is it that's driving, do you think, this new chapter?
Well, I feel like these ones are working together. They want to create and complete their performance. So the more closely that you look at these pieces, you can almost see the expressions on their face.
That's true. Even though, yeah, because it does feel like they all have a little bit of uh-oh, and yet we're going to do this. We're going to make it. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen to get involved in the auction. This is a piece that retails for $450. Current bid is right there on your screen. Final thoughts. We've got 30 seconds left on this piece. Final thoughts.
Well, the fact that the artist uses bronze to prepare the piece, and then he goes in with clay metals to kind of sculpt and shape it. And then lastly, he'll use the different patinas to give the certain colors and styles and textures of the piece. So again, the more you look at it, you can almost see the layer upon layer and all the painstaking details that he uses in each individual art piece.
That is a fun, exciting piece of art. I think it's a great gift as well. I love to start someone on an art collection with a small piece or a large piece if you can, but this piece is a perfect way to start. We'll keep this piece open. Retails for $450. The current bid is on the screen. The next item is 3C, and this is Coney Grouper by Maria Winkler. This is acrylic on paper measuring 21 by 29. Retail value is $800. We love Maria. She's a fantastic artist and has been involved here for quite some time. We thank you for that. And I would love to start off with this beautiful, the colors in here just really sing.
Yeah, Maria actually has this series of endangered habitats called Underseascapes, and they're actually based off of the photography of this amazing, she's actually a scuba diver named Sam McGuff that gave the artist permission to utilize inspiration for the pieces that she creates.
That is so cool that you mentioned to me about the endangered species part, because I love that she's bringing out awareness in art. Is that something that drives her?
She definitely has a bunch of different series, but this one was, a little bit more emotional for her, just to be able to point out all the different things happening in habitats in the ocean, especially vernal pools as well, marshes, anything that involves creatures that we may not see in another few generations.
Yeah, and that is something we all can do something about as well. This is a piece that is a conversation piece, as we just did. It got us off on something. I want to tell you that the number's on the screen right now to pick up the phone and call to be involved in the art auction. The retail value for Maria Winkler's piece is $800, and the current bid is on the screen. Can you tell me about technique?
So with Maria, she does use acrylic and acrylic inks. This, however, not like normal people using watercolor paper. This paper is actually called Yupo paper. It's non-porous and acid-free, gives the artist free rein to be able to keep it nice and smooth, build up these wonderful layers, especially, again, if you get the close-up on there, you can see layer upon layer and all these wonderful different shades and colors, adding that sort of surreal underwater experience.
That's so cool. I was going to ask you, how did she get watercolor so bright and thick? And is it the Yupo paper?
The Yupo paper does help. It just really gives a great base to build up those colors.
That's so cool. Thank you for saying that, because I wondered how in the world did that happen. Is this part of her typical style of watercolor?
She does do a lot of different acrylics and watercolor. She even draws in colored pencils and inks. This one in particular didn't utilize any of her dry pastels that she sometimes includes in her artwork.
It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I will recap this piece for you right now. 3C, it is Coney Grouper by Maria Winkler. This is acrylic on paper measuring 21 by 29, retail value $800, and the current bid is right there on your screen. Okay, we're halfway through the break, which means we're going to keep this piece open and check in over at the recap station for bidding updates and so much more.
Okay, you just saw the first 3 pieces in this break from Archival Gallery. So let's review the bids. Right now, the Delta Fields by Richard Stein is at $2,750. That's got a retail of $3,400, and he's coming off of a show that he did phenomenally on. This is a really great piece. It's large and it's really typical of his work, and it's a chance to pick it up and support KVIE at the same time. Item number 3B, the Ladder Acrobats by Early Swanson, has a current bid of $350. It's got a retail of $450. It's a dramatic piece. Let's make it into a bell ringer. Early also showed last month at Archival, and again, a heavily collected artist that has supported the art auction for probably the last 8 or 9 years, and also an award winner here. This is a brand new piece. This was not in his last exhibit. So you got a chance to get something new and exciting from him. And it's very typical for him to do these acrobats. It's a stunning piece for the center of a dining room table or an entry hall. It creates a great shadow that's really fun. You need to call the number on your screen right now to make it happen. Those bids are going up. They go fast, and we're selling them tonight. That means you can't buy it tomorrow, and you can't call in an hour. So get on the phone right now. The next one is 3C by Maria Winkler. Maria has supported the auction for years. Again, she shows at Archival. She's a California master. Maybe one of her students is out there. She has been a teacher and a professor for years, and she's really well known for her watercolor and her amazing birds and fish. So let's get this bid up. It's got an $800 retail. Right now, we're sitting at $200. And all you have to do is call that number on your screen, and boom, you're talking to one of our great volunteers, and you can take this piece home and make it part of your collection. Again, all of these artists donate 100% of the work to KVIE, and it goes to all the things you love. All right, so more art is to come in this break from Archival Gallery artists. We're going to head back to Rob and the lovely Athena for more art.
All it takes is a quick call to the number on your screen, and you can have some amazing artwork just like this in your home today. All right, we're back with a second half of the category, continuing with item 3D, Cityscapes. It's a diptych by William Peterson. This is ceramic, measuring 16 by 27 inches. And when presented together, that's the size, just like this. Retail value of $800. This is gorgeous, Athena. I love this. Cityscapes. Tell me about this.
Well, these pieces were completed in 2020, and what it is just an amazing set of pieces that are ceramic with so many different colors and textures that you have to just sit there and look at it to really just soak in all of the amazing colors and patterns that you would get.
I'm glad you said that, because when you did, I started doing that, and now I see that this could be, you know, a city block. It could also be part of an agricultural town in Northern California, because it looks like there could be some buildings as well as some ag. And do these have to stay together?
They do not. You can even get one and possibly gift one. Makes a great Christmas present.
It's a BOGO right here. Buy one, get one. I love that. You know, usually when you see a diptych or a triptych, they kind of have to stay together, but these seem like they could be separated. What is the inspiration here?
Well, William really had a lot to think about, a lot of emotions during lockdown, all the fears and anxieties that were experienced during COVID.
Yeah.
He really felt like putting them into his artwork, and sure enough, he had piece after piece that are just one after another knockouts.
I love that. These look like aerials, and so I love that he sort of tried to find a way to rise above the stress.
Yeah, they were actually kind of loose interpretations of what you would see out of a plane window, especially when you're coming in from Sacramento Airport. You see all these amazing different pockets of land and farms and things like that. This one just happens to be focused on a city.
Fantastic. Also, I wanted to mention that this artist had a showing, and they were just going so fast, so he's highly collected.
Yes, William Pearson had his introduction show at Archival Gallery, and it was a smash hit.
That's awesome. That makes me very happy. This is a smash hit as well. Look at those beautiful colors that you see popping through your screen and monitor. Call the number on your screen to get involved in the art auction. This is Cityscapes. It's a diptych by William Peterson, ceramic measuring 16 by 27. And this is framed by Archival Framing. The retail value is $800. Tell me about this piece as far as some of the different elements that are in it. What's the medium here?
Well,
Is it all
William
clay?
loves to use red clay. It's his choice of clay. And then, of course, he uses assorted tools like drill bits, broken pieces of items. He creates his own stamps, essentially, that he utilizes to get certain patterns and textures out of the piece. And then he really makes a schematic to where he painstakingly devises where to put certain colors and textures and the patinas and glosses.
Look at that. I love how the colors just, wow, they display so beautifully. And this, I want to also tell you, these are heavy. These are heavy pieces.
They're sturdy.
I'm not allowed to touch the art, but I can tell you that they are very heavy. We're going to keep this piece open. Great to see the excitement, and move on to the next piece in the KVIE art auction. All right, this is a beauty, and I feel like this is going to be a biggie. This is 3E boxed by the late Laureen Landau, beloved longtime supporter of PBS KVIE. This is mixed media, measuring 40 by 60, framed by Archival Framing, and the retail value is $5,200. It's huge, it's one of a kind, and the artist is no longer with us. But wanted to make sure that her art continued coming here. You can tell us more about that as well. By the way, with the mid-century modern craze going on, this is perfect to do an entire home or room around.
Well, the fact that this is a legacy artist, Laureen Landau did pass away in 2009. She has been with the KVIE art auction since its beginning. And the fact that she's known for her bold colors, this sort of series, along with her paper bag series that she had in 1987, highly collectible. Even the Crocker Art Museum has a few of her pieces in their permanent collection. But this monochromatic almost painting definitely is a little bit out of the norm, and something that's so beautiful and so simple, yet the shadows and light that play with it, especially the more you look in these detail, you can see the line work, the pencils, but you'd have to step away to really appreciate it.
This is spectacular. I can truly feel this will end up being one of the hottest pieces because of how we see design going today. This is Laureen Landau, mixed media, measuring 40 by 60, and retails at $5,200. Just take a look at that. Laureen was a legacy artist as well. Tell me more about her as an artist.
Well, she actually taught at Sac City College for about 30 years, and they even have a collection of works. She was known for her color theory class. I would have loved to have been in that one.
I would have too.
We have quite a collection of our own of Laureen Landau at Archival Gallery. It's also available on our website as well as laureenlandau.com.
That is so beautiful, and I love the fact that you mentioned her color pattern that she's known for, the blocking and the squares, and that yet this is so monochromatic. It's so it's just so today.
Simple is often the way to go these days. It finds that this can fit in any household, any color scheme, and just would be great centerpiece for any home.
So pick up the phone, dial the number on your screen right now to get involved in the auction. The current bid is on the screen right now. This retail for $5,200. And if you have a friend who is a designer or into collecting, this is a great time to call them and say, hey, watch us today. Watch for the auction, and this too can be involved with you. All right, we've got just 10 seconds on this. What's your final thought?
Well, she actually shown at the Michael Himovitz Gallery also in 1987. So the fact that she's been around so long and so established, just, you know, proud Sacramentan that any person would be lucky to have this in their house.
Absolutely. I like that. All right, thank you so much. We'll keep this piece open and move on to our next piece in the auction. Item 3F is 5 Pennies for the Fates by Corey Okada, oil on canvas, measuring 42 by 18. Retail value is $800, and this is super cool. I'm staring at it and trying to figure it out. That's why you're the art expert. So tell me about this awesome piece by a beloved artist who's been a longtime contributor as well.
Certainly depicts two kind of women that were in the right place at the right time, and especially the pose of the figure was ideated without a model, and one may have been used later, but the figure was and continues to be super important, and the positioning of the hands especially makes it a great focal point.
Wow, and look at the eyes. Those really make a statement.
Yeah, Corey Okada is just known for his bold colors. You know, usually does oil on canvas, but with his current studio situation has been venturing into more use of acrylics.
That's cool. Tell me about this this piece, and as far as the colors. Do you like the colors? Do you like what it's saying? What is the meaning here?
Well, I mean, I just find that it's just expression, and it illuminates. I mean, when you're just looking at the screen right now, it's practically glowing.
Yeah.
You know, just that dark background and then all the different highlights. Even though there is so many different colors, you can really appreciate the use of those light and dark areas.
That is an interesting name, 5 Pennies for the Fates.
He has a interesting backstory on it because it's a little vulgar and you'd have to really look up the history as far as what the artist is trying to portray. But I think it's very soulful and almost has a little bit of sadness to the piece. But that can be, you know, remarked in different terms and ways as far as where it might be going in your house.
Okay. All right. Well, the number on the screen is the way to get it to your house or to your office or for a gift. This is the largest art sale in Northern California right now, with the largest gallery in Northern California, and we're bringing it to your home for you. Call the number on your screen as well. I want to give you the retail on this beautiful 5 Pennies for the Fates by Corey Okada, oil on canvas measuring 42 by 18, retail value $800, and there you see your current bid on the screen. Final thoughts on Corey Okada's piece?
Well, Corey has been showing for about 35 years, and one interesting fact about Corey is he's actually colorblind. So the fact that you see all these amazing colors and shapes with a colorblind artist is just astounding and just makes it even more valuable.
I am so glad you told me that. That is fascinating to me. Wow, thank you, Corey. That's awesome. Corey Okada, thank you. And thanks for sharing that as well, Athena. Okay, we'll be right now toward the end of the break. We'll be checking in a second across the way. This is your last opportunity to bid on the art featured in this half hour. So let's check in with the recap station for an update.
We are down to the final couple of minutes before this break is over. It's Friday night. Our volunteers are here to take your bids. Don't miss out on this opportunity to win art right now. So let's review it real quick so you can get on that phone. Item number 3D is Cityscapes by William Peterson. It's a ceramic and it's a diptych. The retail value is $800. Right now, it's sitting at $600, so close to being a bell ringer. Let's get it up to the retail. He had a great last show. Item number 3E is Boxed by Lorene Landau, who is a legacy artist. Lorene really believed in KVIE. She actually remembered KVIE and left them a generous sum in her will, and as well as pieces to continue selling in the auction. There's a current bidding war on that one. It's boxed. It has a retail of $5,200, and we're at $575, and there's people on the phone bidding. So you need to call that number on your screen right now. Number 3F, 5 Pennies for the Fates, is by Sacramento favorite Corey Okada. So close to being a bell ringer. It's $800 value. We are currently sitting at $700. So call in right now, and you can take that one home next week as well. Corey is showing in the gallery, in Archival Gallery right now, and was an introductions artist in 1987, so it's a really great piece at a really great price. It just went up to $725. Okay, I'm gonna run through them really quick. 3A, Richard Stein, is at $3,300. It's got a $3,400 retail. $100, and let's make it a bell ringer. When something becomes a bell ringer, anything above that retail price is just going straight to KVIE, just like the artist intended. Let's look at 3B, Ladder Acrobats. That's a bell ringer. That's a bell ringer. Ring the bell. That's a bell ringer. It's sitting at $500. It has a $450 value. It's a beautiful piece. Go ahead and bid it up. It's one of Early's larger pieces, so it's well worth the money. Number 3C is Coney Grouper by Maria Winkler. It is sitting at $275. It's an $800 retail. It's a beautiful piece for it's at $350. That's what we need right now. It's a perfect piece for your favorite aquarium person or somebody you know that's really into scuba diving. Number 3D is the Cityscapes Diptych by new artist Will Peterson, and that is sitting at $600. It's so close to its retail of $800. I love this artist's work. It's beautiful. 3E is boxed. It's got a $5,200 value. It's sitting at $750. Bid now. Number 3F is 5 Pennies for the Fates by Corey Okada. We got a bell ringer. It's reached its $800 retail, but we could still bring that up higher. Please stay with us. There's more art coming up in the next half hour of your PBS KVIE art auction.
What's wrong with following the proven method? Isn't that the surest way to produce satisfactory results? Today, simply producing satisfactory results isn't good enough. We live in a rapidly changing landscape. Those changes require new solutions. Innovation challenges the idea that old solutions will continue to solve today's problem.
Picking up your purchased artwork is quick and easy to do. Visit PBS KVIE Studios Sunday through Tuesday during these posted hours for this year's curbside pickup. For your convenience, PBS KVIE representatives will carry your artwork to your vehicle when you arrive. All purchased art must be claimed within 30 days of auction closure. For questions, location, and hours, visit kvie.org/art-auction. Thank you for being a part of the PBS KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Coming up next is artwork from Archival Gallery. Open since 1983, Archival Gallery features monthly fine art exhibitions, decorative art gifts, public art murals, and picture framing services for businesses and home consumers. The gallery is open every week in East Sacramento. View all of the art featured in this year's collection at kvie.org/art-auction.
First 3, right? Hi there, I'm Dee Neath, and thank you for joining us for another break featuring Archival Gallery artists. Here is an overview of the art that's going to be up for bid the next half hour. Item number 4A is I Love Lucy, wallpaper by Carol Mott Binkley. It's a photograph. It measures 16 by 20, and it was framed by Archival Gallery. It has a retail value of $300. Item number 4B is Ranunculus Carnival by favorite Leslie McCarran. This is an oil on canvas. It measures 24 by 20, and it has a retail value of $900. Item number 4C is Pyrus Walking Trails, Zion National Park by Marie Gonzalez. This is a pastel, not a photo, and it measures 16 by 20, and it has a retail value of $900. Item number 4D is Yosemite's Three Sisters by Helen Plainert. It's a watercolor and it measures 18 by 22. It was also framed by Archival and it has a value of $475. Item number 4E is I Can by Dawn Yost. This is clay and measures 13 by 4 by 4. It has a retail value of $125 and it's an award winner in sculpture. Item number 4F is I Am the Ship, the Star, and the Storm by Favorite Kelly Rains. It is a mixed media measuring 24 by 18 inches and has a retail value of $700. The phone lines are open and ready to take your bids. All you got to do is call that number. Now let's see the art with Rob and Athena.
Hi there, I'm Rob Stewart, and welcome back for another round of amazing art from Archival Gallery. I'm here once again with Athena Alber, who is representing Archival Gallery as the art expert this half hour and doing a fantastic job. Thanks for being here, Athena. Let's get started with piece 4A, which is right now here. It is I Love Lucy Wallpaper by Carol Mott Binkley, who, if you see Carol in person, you know she's an artist. You just know it. Photography, measuring 16 by 20, framed by Archival Framing, and the retail value is $300. And I'm telling you, this is an artist that I love to collect just because she's so much fun. What do you, first of all, tell me your first thoughts here and what you want to say about it.
Well, you nailed it. It's fun. I mean, all the different pictures of Lucy, which is actually her backyard Polish hen.
Oh, okay, how cool. And I see her hens on Instagram and things like that, but that is so beautiful. And so it's a photography, but then
And then she actually messes around with iPhone apps to manipulate, change the colors and the styles of the pictures, just to kind of manipulate it just how she wants and how she would like the viewer to see it.
So cool. This is I Love Lucy Wallpaper by Carol Mott Binkley. Photography measuring 16 by 20, framed by Archival, retail value $300. So I guess, you know, it's her hen in her yard. Inspiration?
Well, she started keeping chickens about 9 years ago in her backyard, and she definitely utilizes the muse quality of these beautiful creatures and plays off on those fun little crowns, as it were, that's on their heads to give it that little bit of a fashionable edge.
So much fun. The number is on your screen right now to pick up the phone and get involved in the art auction, as well as your current bid. This retail value is $300. It is framed and ready to go to your home or office or a gift. And I love this yellow that you see right there around the mat. Is the wallpaper style. Can you talk to me about that?
Well, the different apps that she uses to manipulate, she definitely has all different shapes, sizes, and setups that she uses to kind of draw in on the pieces. And then we utilize this yellow core mat to really highlight some of those colors in there.
I love that. That little pop makes a huge difference. What would you say, because I know she's been doing this for quite a while, is this wallpaper type of art something that showcases this artist?
We framed quite a bit of her pieces. She just had a big show recently, and we framed about over 20 of them, and they all have different styles, but the wallpaper is, you know, a good collection that she has going, and I like to see more of it.
That's awesome. She had a show here, and she did phenomenal as well. And the reason we tell you these things is because they are collected and collectible artists. Pick up the phone and call the number on your screen, and this beautiful Carol Mott Binkley piece can be yours if you are the winning bidder. We will keep this open and move on to the next one. And I love this piece and this artist. This is item 4B, and this is called Ranunculus Carnival by Leslie McCarran, and this is oil on canvas, measuring 24 by 20. Retail value is $900. And Leslie McCarran is such a dedicated, giving artist, and her flowers are so spectacular. And this is a power piece.
Yeah, Leslie's known for her still life pieces. She actually got the inspiration for this piece on a trip to Trader Joe's. They had just put out a fresh batch of flowers. She saw these wonderful, wonderful flowers, decided to get one in each color, take them to her studio, get it set up, and let the juices flow.
It's so beautiful. We've had shows here as well with her, and she is just so popular, and I see why. What you said her inspiration for this one was Trader Joe's, but she does flowers, as a lot of flowers as well, and I've seen many of her smaller pieces. This is a big one.
Yeah, she's done bigger, but this certainly is able to showcase the use of these glass vases. She uses a lot of direct light in her studio at home, and certainly, takes everything from nature to anything that has a great shape to it and kind of gives it her own spin. This is her interpretation of how she sees the different flowers. So in real life, they obviously might be a little bit different, but the more you look at it, especially with these background shadows and shapes, she wanted the flowers to pop and have the vases and shadows be more of a just, supporting cast.
What is this? Do you know what this is on and what the texture is?
So Leslie paints primarily in oil paints. She usually does canvas, but she also loves utilizing these rigid wood canvases because it lets her have a much smoother surface to work for and really build up those layers and textures.
It's beautiful, and there you see the colors so brightly and beautifully on your screen. This is Leslie McCarran. It is Ranunculus Carnival. Fantastic piece. And this is an oil painting measuring 24 by 20. Retail value is $900. I will tell you that Leslie's pieces go fast and they go far because these are highly collected. What do you want to say about the artist?
Leslie is actually one of my favorite artists to work with. She's just a joy, absolute bright light. Obviously with her artwork, she certainly has that flair. And even with the use that she has of her color reflects her personality for sure.
So I can promise you that these flowers and colors, this is one of those pieces that you just want to touch. We can't, but for some reason I just want to. I don't know why I needed to tell you that.
I think that because she loves using different brushes and palette knives, the aspect of oil paint having that buttery texture, she's able to manipulate that on her pieces as far as the different circular shapes, how she manipulates that with the palette knife to give it that texture, makes it want to jump off the canvas.
You just nailed it. You described it perfectly. That's what I was thinking but didn't know how to say. That's why you're the art expert. All right, we're going to keep this piece open by Leslie McCarran, and we will move on to the next piece in the auction. Item 4C is Parousse Walking Trail in Zion National Park by Marie Gonzalez. Pastels measuring 16 by 20, and the retail is $900. Whoa, that is cool. I am seeing a totally different look from the side when I do straight on. Tell me about this piece.
Well, believe it or not, this is not a photograph. So this is soft pastels and just the amount of detail, you have to sit there and just stare at it to appreciate all of this beauty.
Wow, I have to tell you, when I walked over, I did wonder that exact thing. It is so spectacular, and the detail is so fine here on this beautiful piece by Marie Gonzalez. What is her inspiration?
She took a trip to Utah, went to the Zion Trail, and was just awestruck by the mountain ranges and the streams that she had to take at least several pictures and get home right away, and was able to start working on this piece with her soft pastels.
So I really, honestly, from the side, it looks 3D. What is that?
So the fact that she actually sharpens her pastels to a fine point, she's able to get all of this little tiny details in minuscule pieces like the rocks, and the leaves are just highlighted. So you really, really have to take a close look to realize this is not a photograph.
And is that the glass, or is it the pastel, that is making it do that from the side?
So when you're looking at it from the side, the glass that is used on this piece is actually conservation reflection control glass. So that allows for the person to see the picture more clearly.
It really does. It's like it's 3D. It's just so neat. A beautiful piece here by Marie Gonzalez, who is also a longtime contributor here. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen to get involved in the auction, as well as this piece. Each piece moves very quickly, and the half hours go by very fast. Pick up the phone. The current bid is on your screen. The retail for this is $900. There is so much realism in this piece. I mean, it is spot on. And with pastel. That's incredible.
It's a hard thing to do. Pastels can be very messy, but sometimes with the right manipulations, the artist was able to blend using her fingers, but again, sharpening the points of those pastels to get those bold strokes, those fine details. And especially when you look at the mountain range, I mean, you can't imagine how it must have been to actually see it in person, but she's able to reflect that in this piece.
Wow, that's a beauty, an absolute beauty. We're going to keep this piece open and move on. We are right now at the halfway point through the break, which means that we are going to keep this open and let you get your final thoughts in and final bids in because they go very fast. And we'll head in over to the recap station for more.
Okay, we've just seen the first 3 pieces of art in this break, and bids are pouring in. I'm going to go over where the bids are right now. Item number 4A, I Love Lucy Wallpaper by Carol Mott, is currently got a bid of $120. You got to give us a call and jump on that. It's got a retail of $300. Very popular artist. Was in not only shows in Archival Gallery, but was also in the Crocker art auction last year. 4B, Ranunculus Carnival by the wonderful Leslie McLaren, has a retail value of $900. Ring those bells, people. We currently have a bid of $1,150, and she does amazing work. It can still be your piece if you call the number that's right there on your screen. Number 4C, Pyrus Walking Trail, Zion National Park, that beautiful pastel by Marie, is at $600. It has a $900 value. It's beautifully framed under reflection-free glass. It could go home with you this week, but you gotta call the number on your screen now. These go really fast, and once I stop talking about them, the bidding is over. But you could look online and find out what the high bids were if you go to kvie.org/art auction. But again, they go fast. Call the number on your screen. Number 4A, I Love Lucy Wallpaper, is still at $120. We're looking for a bid of at least $150 or $60. It has a retail of $300. 4B, Ranunculus Carnival, is our bell ringer. It's now up to $1,300, but you could still take it home. It has a retail of $9. 4C, the Walking Trail in the Zion National Park, is now at $600. It has a retail of $900. All these are still open, and they're all still available if you call the... You got to call that number on the screen. If you're not registered to bid, call the number on the screen and register to bid. There's all kinds of exciting things coming up tonight, all day tomorrow. We just kicked off the auction. It's today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So as the bids come in, let's take another look at some more art in the second half of this break.
There are so many amazing works available for you this weekend, and when you see what you want, don't hesitate as the artwork sells very fast. All right, we're back with the second half of this category featuring artists from Archival Gallery. Up next is item 4D, Yosemite's Three Sisters by Helen Plannert, and this is watercolor measuring 18 by 22 and has a retail price of $475. Athena, tell me your first impressions. I love it. I love it.
I mean, who doesn't love Yosemite? I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jumping away, and no matter how many times you go, it's never enough to appreciate the beauty.
Well, this is a way you can keep that beauty all the time with you in your home or your office or as a gift for someone. This is, it's interesting because everybody that I've seen does watercolor differently.
Well, as far as this piece, the artist, who has, of course, a love affair with Yosemite, would often go camping with her family and just look at the stars and Half Dome, and of course has always had an appreciation for PBS and all of the documentaries on Yosemite. Took a trip during lockdown and decided to take hundreds of pictures while hanging out of the car window while her husband drove slowly through the park, and took those hundreds of pictures and found a piece that she just fell in love with and decided to just get right to work.
That's cool. That is very cool. I love that you knew that. Pick up the phone and call the number on your screen because this is a highly collectible artist, Helen Plannert. It's Yosemite's Three Sisters, watercolor measuring 18 by 22. Retails for $475. Your current bid is up there. So do I see a waterfall?
Yeah, a little bit waterfall there, and the artist is a little bit more known for the trees that she does, but really wanted to emphasize on doing more rock formations, hence being able to capture Yosemite's three sisters just so effectively with all those light and shadows where the trees are, and just all of the different tiny details that you see as far as the line work that she did with the ink.
So, the line work that's added on?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
so the artist
I
would
see.
paint with the watercolor on watercolor paper, which it's hard to get watercolor paper completely flat. It's very porous, but that allows for all of the wonderful different color blending to occur to get those wonderful shapes and shadows.
I love the addition of the ink lines here. And would you think that's before or after?
Sometimes you just have to go with the flow, and certain artists will just kind of let it create itself in an essence. But, you know, happy mistakes.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Beautiful piece. And it's on your screen right now. So is the current bid. The retail value for Helen Plenard's piece is $475. And again, this is a beautiful watercolor. Where does Helen paint? At her studio, or does she do plein air? Because, I mean, her last name is Plenard. So.
Most of the artists will do their painting. She did this at home in her studio.
Watercolor, I would imagine, needs to be done sometimes in an enclosed place.
Not necessarily. As long as you got the tools, it's just a matter of being able to focus and have all the right materials available to you. I would imagine if you did do it plein air, it would be a little windy in Yosemite.
What do you think about this piece that needs to be shared?
I mean, just the colors and shapes, because most people will paint all the valleys of Yosemite. Of course, you get all of the waterfalls, but I don't think the Three Sisters gets a lot of the appreciation it deserves, and this is a wonderful way to bring it home to your house.
That's a really good point. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to keep this piece open as you see the bidding on your screen and move to the next piece here in the auction. This is 4E, I Can, by Don Yost. Clay measuring 13 by 4 by 4, a very fun piece. Retail value $125, and drumroll juror award for sculpture. So thank you, Don. This is a gorgeous piece. Tell me, what is this inspiration? What's going on?
Well, Donald Yost has a love affair with birds, and their themes, as far as having them evolve over about 45 years. He especially likes to do families of birds with little backstories, and through the emotion that you get with these little guys' eyes and expressions, it is just an amazing coffee table piece to be able to bring to your home.
They are so cute. Okay, I was just told in my ear that they're doing the can. Is that right?
Yes, they are.
Okay, what's the can? It's the dance, I take it.
It is, yeah, it's inspired by the song, the can, or the dance, if you will.
Oh, okay, I got it. I see the can. Look at their toenails.
Aren't they cute? Oh, gosh, that is amazing use of color.
I like that. That's a fun piece. This is the Don Yost piece, such a cute, fun, funky piece of clay sculpture here that has just brought this to life. 13 by 4 by 4. And the dancing birds are just adorable. And what about see there the eyeballs on there? What do you think when you see that?
I think of Angry Birds, but his is a lot more accessible.
Yeah, because they're dancing and they're having fun, and they also have we saw earlier in Carol's piece, the head, the pieces on top of the chicken's head. This is so cute what these are as well. This retails for $125. You see the number on your screen right now to call if you would like to take home this beautiful Don Yost ceramic piece. This artist has been doing clay for a long time, right?
No, he's been showing for about 15 years, but as I mentioned, the birds themselves have been evolving for about 45 years.
That's awesome. Tell me about the technique on this, and I'm going to turn this around while you talk about that.
So the artist does use just clay, and what's fascinating is that he doesn't use a lot of glazes with the colors. He actually uses different color clays to kind of get those remarkable effects.
Oh, what? Look, it says we all can. So there's an inspiration and a message that is written the chicken's butts.
And what's great too is that the artist has claimed that the pieces can be used outdoors and even at a pool bottom in some cases, and are dishwasher safe effectively.
Well, well, look at you. All right, thank you. That's fun. I love that little tidbit information. Thank you, Don. You're always so much fun with the pieces that you bring here. We'll move on to the next piece and keep this open. This is item 4F, I Am the Ship, the Star, the Storm, by Kelly Raines. Mixed media, measuring 28 by 14. The retail value is $700, and this is absolutely gorgeous. First impressions.
So what I was told by the artist is that this was inspired by her late father, who was in love with mathematics and had old calculus books laying around that she rummaged through one day. And when looking through these math texts, she started to get the inspiration because her father was also in the Navy. She started seeing things like boats and the water, and effectively just started getting to work with this whole new process that is very much new to her. Mixed media is kind of a new technique that she's been exploring, and I think that she nailed it in this just special piece.
And I know that while this artist's father was sick, she really found relief in expressing herself and finding freedom in art, like so many people have said over the past couple of years with everything going on with COVID. This is such a beautiful piece. It evokes a happy emotion. It really does. Tell me about the mixed media.
Well, it certainly is a thoughtful piece, and when you look at it, you see the text pages as a background, and so the artist was very, very just imagining where certain pieces would go, so that it would just give an emotional remark and just make you think, and you have to really look and read those pieces. She definitely strategically placed them to evoke that emotion.
I do know that this artist has her works coast to coast in America. I know that for a fact. And I say that because a pastel I bought and sent it to my mother in South Carolina, and it is prominently in her home. This artist is phenomenal. Pick up the phone, call the number on your screen to take home I Am the Ship, the Star, and the Storm by Kelly Raines, who has shown at Archival as well. Mixed media, 24 by 18, and it retails for $700. The colors are so much fun.
Well, what's great is that the artist started with a digital sketch on her iPad and then would start doing the structural portion onto the piece itself, kind of manipulating it, getting all the different pages lined up, and then she would do a color wash and started building up those layers to get the desired effect. So when you're looking at this portion, you can really see the froth of the ocean waves and almost like a red sun that this ship has like kind of gearing towards. So, and the ship was actually painted last, which I think gives it a little bit more symbolism.
I love that ship, and it's interesting. I just noticed that the frame looks like the outside exterior of a ship, the metal color, if you will. Such a cool piece by such a really interesting artist. Well, we're nearing the end of this break, which means that now is your final opportunity to bid on the art featured in this half hour. A big thank you to our art expert, Athena Alber, for sharing her expertise with us today as we discussed the work from artists affiliated with Archival Gallery. Now let's check in over at the recap station for an update on bidding activity.
Well, now you've had a look at all the artwork available this past half hour, so let's review what's still open for bidding. Item number 4D is Yosemite's Three Sisters by Helen Planer. I have her in my collection. It has a retail of $475. We are a big old bell ringer at $675, but you can still bring it home and bid on it. Item number 4E I love Don Yost. By Don Yost is I Can, and that is also a bell ringer. It's at $375 with a retail of $125. Still open. Call the number on your screen, and you can still bid on it. I Am the Ship, the Star, and the Storm by Kelly Raines is at $250. It's got a retail of $700, so we've got some room there to get that bid up. Call the number on your screen, and you can bid on it right now. I'm going to recap everything that we've done here the last half hour. I Love Lucy by Carol Mott is got a high bid of $150. It's got a retail of $300. Let's see if we can get that one up a little bit. Real popular artist and a great chicken mama. Let's see $200. Let's see $250. Remember, everything goes to PBS. Call that number. Item number 4B is Ranunculus Carnival. This is a big bell ringer. It's up to $1,500, still open for bidding. It is 24 by 30. It had a smaller size online for a while. It was just a typo. So it's bigger than it said online. But it's a big, beautiful piece that look great in anybody's kitchen. $1,500. You need to raise it by at least $1,600 because there's serious bidders on the phone. Don't fool around. The next one is 4C, The Walking Trail in Zion National Park by Marie Gonzalez is at $725, getting close to that $900 retail. That's what we're looking for. Item number 4D, Yosemite's Three Sisters by Helen Planner is at $675. Ring the bells. Again, you can still bid on that one. Item number 4E, I Can, is at $375. A bell ringer again. It's still up for bid. 4F, I Am the Ship, the Star, and the Storm. Let's get this one up there, folks. Kelly is a well-known artist. She's shown in the gallery for years, participates in all our group shows. It's at $250 right now. It's got a retail of $700. It's framed. It's ready to be in your house right now, but you can't get it if you don't call. I'm going to do this one more time really quick because we got a lot of people on the phone. 4A, the I Love Lucy wallpaper by Carol, has a high bid right now of $150. It's got a retail of $300. Item number 4B, the Ranunculus Carnival, is at $1,500, still open for bidding, had a retail of $900. Item 4C, the Walking Trail in Zion National Park, is sitting at $725. Let's get it up to that $900 retail. Item number 4D, Yosemite's Three Sisters by Helen Planner, is at $675. It's a bell ringer, but you can still bid on it. Item number 4E, I Can, is at $375. It has a retail of $125. I Am the Ship, the Star, and the Storm is at $250. So call and get that bid up there. Stay with us. There's more coming up in the next half hour of your PBS KVIE art auction.
Welcome to the 41st Annual PBS KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of Northern California's visual arts. Over 270 works of art will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite artwork. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art-auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. Auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now, let the auction begin. Bidding on items in the art auction is quick and easy to do. First, explore the collection online at kvie.org/art-auction, or keep watching PBS KVIE. When a piece of art catches your eye, call 1-844-KVIE-ART and a volunteer will assist you. KVIE accepts all major credit cards for your art purchase, and a member of our accounting team will confirm your payment within 5 minutes of item sale. Thank you for being a part of the PBS KVIE art auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Coming up next is the California Masters category. This half hour recognizes the works of our region's amazing artists. Don't miss your chance to secure a work of art from a California Master today. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art-auction.
Hi, I'm Dee Neath, and thanks for joining us for the California Masters break. This portion of the art auction is proudly sponsored by Crow & Decker, and we would like to thank them for their commitment to supporting the arts on PBS and KVIE. Here is what's coming up in the next half hour of the auction. Item number 5A is Picasso Vase by Thomas Sellis. This is ceramic and it measures 15 by 10 by 10. It has a retail value of $500. Item 5B is Perfection is the Child of Time by local favorite Lee Cavaljan. This is a ceramic measuring 18 by 18 by 2.5, and it does go on the wall. It has a retail value of $600. Item 5C is Splash by Victoria Brooks. This is oil on linen and measures 20 by 16. The retail value is $1,600. Item number 5D is Surprise Glacier number 1 by Darby Hayes. This is a photography and it measures 31 by 51. The retail value is $700. Item 5E is I Cat Cat by Marcy Friedman. This oil on canvas measures 22 by 32 and was framed by Archival Gallery. It has a retail value of $2,200. Item 5F is Carousel Blur by favorite photographer Martin Christian. This is a photography measuring 18 by 30 and has a retail value of $300. These are the pieces available to bid on in this half hour. So let's head over to the art expert and auctioneer and see what they've got.
Hi there, I'm Michael Sanford, and thanks for joining us for a look at artwork from this California Masters segment. During this break, I'm pleased to be here with the fine artist, Kelly Raines. Kelly is known for her work with pastels and acrylics and often exhibits her artwork at the Archival Gallery in East Sacramento. Kelly, we're glad to have you back with us, and as a contributing artist and art expert, let's get started with this first piece, which is item 5A, Picasso Vase by Thomas Sellis. This is a ceramic, obviously, measuring 15 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches. Its retail value is $500. Kelly, first impressions of this pretty impressive work.
Well, it's very impressive. I want to share with the audience that the artist is influenced by another artist, Pablo Picasso. Some people may know Picasso's work, or this might be a first time kind of introduction to the inference of his work. So the artist Thomas, he is inspired by Pablo. He loves that when Picasso first attended a World's Fair exhibit in Paris, he saw these African masks and discovered kind of a new way of representing facial features. So Picasso went home and started painting his women, Picasso's women. So our artist here, Thomas, is inspired by Picasso's women. And I'm going to slowly turn this
look at
this dolly. So you can see there are women on either side of the vase.
It really does remind you of Picasso's work.
It's very much evocative of Picasso's work. His women portraits especially were known with kind of disjointed facial features. You see an eye where you don't normally expect to see an eye, and lips in different places. But it's very much a tribute to Picasso's women and Picasso's art. But it's also a tribute to this artist's ability to share his art with us.
Well, the current bid is on your screen, and the number to call is right there on your screen as well. Kelly, obviously there are pivotal moments in art history, Van Gogh, Rembrandt, obviously Michelangelo, and certainly Picasso stands within that canon of artists who changed the world. Mm-hmm. How do you think Thomas Sellis was specifically inspired by Picasso and emulated him so beautifully?
Well, I think he's very much drawn to his work, and I want to share, you talk about moments in history. Thomas, the artist, actually shares, and I think it's a wonderful segue, that this piece was done after a COVID Zoom lessons at a school that was empty.
Really?
So he took a Zoom class and did this over Zoom and created this. So speaking to moments in history and who you're influenced by, I think you're also influenced by present day and the moment you're living in. And so he created this beautiful piece. I also want to point out that it's done in what's called coiling pottery. And I want to read my notes because I don't want to miss anything. Coiling pottery is one of the most common ways of making pottery before the throwing wheel.
Really?
And the technique dates back some 8,000 to 12,000 years. And it's the first ever coiled pots from about then. And so it's basically laying coil cylinders upon cylinders and creating this beautiful piece, which is stunning.
Reminder, this is item 5A, Picasso Vase by Thomas Sellis. So Thomas has used obviously some ancient techniques and sort of a postmodern artist and combined those two into a work that really stands out. Imagine what this would look like in your home.
It's stunning. There's beautiful colors. Now, I want to point out that it should not stay outside, even though it's ceramic and it's glazed. It should be inside all the time. And it's a moment in history. It's honoring a historic painter, but it's also by one of our local artists, and that's what I love too. In his own right, he is historic in capturing a little bit of history in his art.
Great job, Thomas Sellis. Item 5A. Again, the number's on your screen and the bidding is ongoing. Let's move on to the next item. That item is item 5B. Perfection is the Child of Time by Lee Kavaljian. This is a ceramic measuring 18 by 18 by 2.5 inches. That's depth, I guess. Its retail value is $600. This one stands out, another beautiful example of how ceramic can change your life.
Well, it's very vibrant in the colors. I love the colors. I love the storytelling. So I'm drawn to art from kind of a storytelling background. And there's story right there, literally in the words, perfection is the child of time. And I think there's any number of ways that an individual can interpret that. And I wanted to just point out that narrative storytelling on ceramics is a very, very ancient kind of way to express oneself on ceramics. If you think back to the Greeks and Mesopotamia and the Egyptians, their pottery and everything told a story. So this artist, Lee, he's telling literally a story using ceramic.
Kelly, that's a really good point. And we look throughout history, if we're lucky enough to find artifacts from ancient civilizations, if we can find ceramics, we can learn so much about that culture and that society, no matter how old it may be.
Yeah, so there's a story here. I mean, it's also just beautiful to look at. I mean, I love the primary colors that he's using, and the blues and the reds and the yellows, and it's just very vibrant. It's a statement piece. It's a conversation starter for sure. You know, what does perfection as a child of time mean to you? I don't know. What does it mean to you? So it's stunning, it's beautiful, and it's a conversation starter.
It is, and I guess we should remind folks out there that this is a California master. Lee Kavaljian is a California master.
He is well known. He's highly collected. He has studied with Robert Arneson, who's also known for his narrative plates. And he is also a past KVIE art auction contributor. So we thank him for that, too.
We do thank him for that. You know, there are so many ways to express your own beliefs through the artwork that you acquire. This is such an evocative statement. And the fact that it's there in 3 dimensions and bright colors really makes it stand out. One of a kind. And you're just not going to find this in any other store.
It's definitely one of a kind. He shares with us, some say that the message being just as important as the medium. So I love that again, it's storytelling, it's narrative, there's a message here, which is just as important as the medium he's sharing it with.
This is your time to get involved and to get this wonderful piece by Lee Kavaljian. Again, this is item 5B, Perfection is the Child of Time. You see the number on your screen, retail value of $600. This is something, again, unique, only one of a kind, and would really make such a statement in your home.
Such a statement, and he's very collected, and he's very well known for this. I think it's a find that anyone should have in their home.
Yeah, the colors are really vibrant. The fact that it's yellow and bright red and blue really helps it stand out, in addition to the fact that it's got dimension to it.
Well, it's a very joyful piece to me. I experience a lot of joy when I look at it to it. But there's also a profound quality to it with the text that he's chosen and just the way he's laid it out as well.
All right, get your bid in now. We're going to keep this open and move on to the next item. That item is 5C, Splash by Victoria Brooks. This is oil on linen measuring 20 by 16 inches. Its retail value is $1,600. What a moment captured, like a beautiful photograph, but better, Kelly.
It's a beautiful photograph. So I want to share that this was taken at a photograph as she was walking along the ocean at the Pacific Ocean on the northern Oregon coast. So this is a very specific place and time and moment that she's captured. She was walking along the ocean at sunset and saw this little girl splashing in the water, and she just really wanted to capture that moment. She loved the glow of sunshine up over her head, which is then kind of repeated and mirrored down in the water that's splashing below her. So she's being sun-kissed by the sun as the sun is setting down in this beautiful ocean scene.
Yeah, that really jumped out for me too, Kelly, because obviously we've all sought moments like this. If we are lucky, we experienced it maybe with our kids or grandkids, where just the light is perfect, the ocean is beautiful, the kids are playing, and it's just a timeless, unforgettable moment. And to see that luminescence captured in this image just adds so much to it.
It's just got a very intimate quality to it. It's also very ethereal. It's just got that very special something je ne sais quoi to it. And I just love the movement of the splash as any child is splashing in the waters loves to do. And you can hear that. And there's a playfulness and just a really special childlike moment that we all treasure.
Yeah, this could be anyone's child. I mean, this is something you could buy for your family, and it would be almost as if it was one of your own children splashing on that beach.
Splashing on the beach. It's a memory that's splashing through your memory, so to speak. I want to share that she is also influenced by Joaquin Sorolla. He's a turn-of-the-century Spanish painter, is one of her muses, and she has been blessed to visit his studio in Madrid, and his women and children on the beach are something that inspires her work as well.
So she's internationally traveled. She has gotten influences from a lot of artists around the world, and yet she captured this moment right here on our West Coast.
On our West Coast, right in our backyard. It's beautiful.
All right, again, this is item 5C, Splash by Victoria Brooks. It's oil on linen, 20 by 16 inches, retail value of $1,600. The bidding is going on right now. One of the things that also sticks out to me, Kelly, if you look above the little girl, you see the waves breaking, and there's a luminescence there. It's obviously a calm day on the ocean and a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. And I want to point out, too, absolutely right, the frame itself is adding to that golden halo that is surrounding this little girl, kind of like, you know, a little protective energy source. And the joy is just emanating from her face as she's looking down at this water.
Now is the time to call if you want that beautiful portrait here. Again, Splash by Victoria Brooks. We're halfway through the break, which means we're going to keep this piece open and check in over at the recap station for some bidding updates.
You've just seen 3 amazing works of art from this California Masters collection, and I'm going to give you an update on the bids. Currently, where are we? 5A, the Picasso vase has a bid of $400. It's got a retail of $5. It's still open, so you can still call and bid on it. It's a beautiful piece. I've seen it in person. Item number 5B is Perfection is the Child of Time by Lee Cavalgin. He's in his 90s, and he is still making the best art. It's got a bid of $250. We're looking for a retail of $600. Item number 5C is Splash by Victoria Brooks. Very, very popular artist. We have a current bid of $350. If you've ever spent time at the beach with your children, it just kind of evokes that memory, and people love her work. It's got a great frame on it too, by the way. So again, the Picasso vase is now a bell ringer at $500. We've got the retail price, but you can still bid on that piece by calling the number on your screen. 5B, Perfection is the Child of Time, is sitting at $250. I've got a bidder on the phone. We're looking to get it up at that $600 retail. And that's, again, by Lee Cavalgin. This piece hangs on the wall. I have one of this series. They're beautiful. Item number 5C is Splash. We're up to $400 on Splash. It's got a retail of $1,600. It's framed in a beautiful gold gilded frame. It's ready to go home. Doesn't it remind you of your granddaughter or your daughter? It's just a great piece to put in your beach house. Again, you got to call the number on your screen. If you're going to bid, once we close these out, they're closed out. You can't call us tomorrow. You can't call in an hour. It's really got to be within this half-hour time period. Again, Picasso vase is at $500. It's a beautiful piece. It's functional. It would look great on your dining room table. These are all California Masters. Most of these people have taught. 5B is Perfection is the Child of Time. Lee Cavalgin was a professor at Sac State until just last year, I believe. Really great piece. It's at $275. We really want to see $375, $400 on that because it does have a retail of $600. Great piece for your kitchen. Item number 5C is Splash by Victoria Brooks. It's at $450. It has a $1,600 value. What a gorgeous piece, and right now, what a value. But you got to call back. So now let's head back to the art for the second half of the break with Michael and Kelly.
All right, the number to call is on your screen, as well as the current bid for our next item, which is 5D, Surprise Glacier #1 by Darby Hayes. This is photography, and boy, is it spectacular. Measuring 31 by 51 inches, has a retail value of $700. Kelly, initial thoughts about this amazing photograph from a California master?
It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got a wow factor. It's spectacular. I want to share that Darby has traveled many times to Alaska and has seen dozens and dozens of glaciers. And on this particular afternoon, the bright white with little hints of blue and the shadow areas were really, really brought to the foreground because it was kind of a subdued and overcast sky that day, and you can see that in the upper half of the photograph. And that really brought to the forefront the rich, deep blues of the water and the glacier.
The colors are so incredibly vibrant. And the other thing, Kelly, I notice is that when you stand close to this, it's so precisely captured that it looks three-dimensional. You feel like you can see into the water and under the water.
It's very rich. The detail is stunning in how Darby captured the photograph in this moment. It was captured on a tourist day cruise near Prince William Sound, near Whittier, Alaska, and he absolutely loves large images with deeply saturated colors, and you can see that all throughout the photograph that Darby has captured in the water here, in the shadows of the glacier, and even up into the green moss of the mountains next to it.
What's really great is that, again, you can see it looks like little rivulets of water running down into the glacier. And then the jaggedness of the glacier itself shows that it's almost a living thing.
Well, it is a living thing that we are cherishing in this moment, and definitely for the viewers there. And what I love about what Darby has done with the composition is everything is leading towards this beautiful kind of moment, for me at least, here.
The reflection, yes.
The reflection and the glacier. So the lines of the mountains, the swooping down of the snow that's coming down, and the ice, and the thawing of the ice, and even the clouds are all kind of leading to this little vista pivot point right over into the right part of the canvas.
It really does draw your eyes kind of towards the center and the center right. Beautiful photograph. Again, this is item 5D, Surprise Glacier 1 by Darby Hayes. Retail value of $700. Current bid is on your screen along with the number to call. Now's the time to call for this amazing photograph. The size of it is one of its attributes, Kelly, don't you think?
It's a statement piece. It's printed on canvas, and Darby shares that they prefer printing on canvas because it gives it a feeling of depth and adds an elegant feel to the subject matter, and it feels like a fine art painting when you're looking at the image.
When I see a beautiful photograph like this, I always think this will look great in my home, but the truth is this would enhance an office, any public space. This is something that just would draw your family members, your customers, your colleagues, and they would all comment on it.
Absolutely. It's a conversation starter. It's also a very meditative piece. I think Darby has expertly so captured the serenity of this environment, and it's definitely bringing the outside in for us.
Yeah, and as we worry so much about the future of glaciers here and around the world, to capture this moment and to have it and to hold it, I think is extra special.
It's extra special. Also, I want to point out the artist is extra special. The artist is a past PBS art auction contributor and has also had a show here in our KVIE gallery as well.
And we thank Darby for this wonderful photograph. We're going to keep this item open and move on to the next item coming right up, which is item 5E, ECAT Cat by Marcy Friedman. This is oil on canvas measuring 22 by 32 inches. It's framed by Archival Framing, and it has a retail value of $2,200. Another beautiful piece of work by one of our much-loved artists, Marcy Friedman.
I'm so excited to talk about this piece. I was excited when I saw it. I love Marcy's work. She is a student of Wayne Thiebaud. So right there's just like an extra special something about her work specifically, and then his influence on her work. So there's this majestic cat that's in the foreground. He's just kind of living his best life right here. There's definitely beautiful painter, expressionistic brushstrokes here and also on the ground that he's sitting on. But I want to point out the background.
Yes,
so
interesting.
The background is very interesting. It kind of speaks to the title, ECOT. So ECOT, and I'm going to read from my notes, it's a textile work that is dyeing technique of yarn originating from Indonesia, which means to bind. So basically yarn is dyed into different colors and patterns and then pushed together to form this pattern fabric behind it. And one of the qualities that's also highly sought after and esteemed in this work is the blurriness effect of it because of the way it's congregated together. So she's captured that in the painting behind.
Well, there's so much going on here, and there's so much to appreciate. Obviously, the ECOT, as you expressive. There's almost a hieroglyphic feel to it. It certainly adds some exoticism to the painting, but then your eyes are also drawn to the cat, the intense eyes that the cat is displaying, and then the beautiful, vibrant rug that it's on really draws your eyes to the colors beneath the cat.
The colors, the subject matter, how she's laid down the paint, her brushstrokes, all have this just very intense, lush, deep, kind of energetic feel to it, especially in his face. The brushstrokes in his coat up around his neck and in his face near his eyes add a little bit more expression just because of the way she's laid down the paint. And he's just got this kind of almost Egyptian quality, Sphinx-like, that's happening in front of these batik, not batik, but ikat images behind him.
Well, now's your time to get involved. This beautiful piece of work by Marcy Friedman can be yours. If you call now, the number is on your screen. The bidding is ongoing. One of the things that I also like is the simple frame. Is that a metal frame or is that just a...
Looks like it's a metal frame and done by Archival Gallery,
okay.
Which is, it's beautifully, the painting is floated within the frame, so it just gives it a little bit more of an elegant feel the way it's framed. I want to point out that Marcy has been in shows at the Crocker Art Museum as well, so she's highly collected. She's known for her figurative work that we're enjoying here at this beautiful cat.
It's a beautiful piece. I like the way that this side of the cat is you see the roundness. The cat is well fed. Let's put it this way. The cat is happy, even though he's not necessarily smiling right now. But it's a happy cat, and it's a beautiful rendition of a very common domestic site with a very exotic background. Very cool.
Well, it's clear to me that the cat is the owner of this home.
Absolutely. We're going to keep this one open and move on to our next item, which is item 5F, Carousel Blur by Martin Christian. This is photography measuring 18 by 30 inches. It has a retail value of $300. Again, the colors just pop out in this really remarkable photograph, Kelly.
So there's so much to share about this. When I spoke to Martin, I learned so much about his artwork and his photography, and specifically this piece and how he captured it. So this is printed on acrylic, and Martin has really shifted over the years from printing on paper, which is, a very fragile medium, to printing on metal and acrylic. And one of the things that it does, and what Martin loves, and I agree with him, is that it removes the barrier of glass between the viewer and the subject matter. So this is a very alive, emotional, moving piece, and there is no barrier for us.
Yeah. The fact that it's on acrylic adds a reflectiveness or a reflection to it that I think makes the colors even more vibrant.
Well, it's also a very sturdy material. It's very vibrant. It really does bring out the colors. He did this on a tripod on a long shutter speed at the California State Fair. And he was, just kind of walking around, seeing what was going to capture his eye. And the big rides were there, but it was this carousel for small riders that really caught his eye. And what I love about it, because of the way he shot it with the long exposure, is that you see this blurry quality of the carousel underneath, but you get the details in the ride that's up above. So there's this beautiful movement that's constantly mirrored throughout the photograph.
Yes, it's interesting that obviously the focal point is the bright neon lights atop, and we know that people are riding and having a great time beneath, but the real focal point is above, and that's what kind of draws your eyes upward.
Again, yes, I love all that movement. What I do love, though, too, even though there's this blurry movement, it's going fast, and you can hear the squeals of the children that are on the ride. There's all these details that are behind that you can really enjoy. There's the fairway, and there's the little games with the stuffed animals, and there's people here waiting in line for their next ride. So it's capturing this moment in time, but it's also capturing the excitement and the movement and the energy.
It's a very clever bit of photography. Again, this is item 5F, Carousel Blur by Martin Christian. Photography, 18 by 30 inches, retail value of $300. The bidding is going on right now, and you see the number on your screen, so keep it going. Yeah, the colors on the sides, when your eyes have feasted upon the red and the white of the carousel itself, it's drawn down to the sparkling lights beyond, and like you say, the other rides in the corner.
Well, Martin I want to share that Martin is a professional photojournalist and a 5-time Emmy-winning award director of photography. So he definitely knows what he's doing, but he also is creating an emotion and a moment in time. Most of us have been to the fair, so there is this squeal and energy of the ride. But yes, there's all those details on the side, like you mentioned. And it also gives us information it's cut off. So we know that there's a lot more fun happening on the outside, and it's a journey we want to go on with him.
Absolutely agree. Well, we're nearing the end of this break, which means now is your final opportunity to bid on the art featured in this half hour. Now let's check in over at the recap station for an update on all of the artwork.
An amazing half hour, and now it's your chance to bid and win. Let's keep those phones ringing, and I'm going to go over some of the bids where they stand right now. Item number 5D, Surprise Glacier. This is a stunning piece by Darby Hayes. He's been in the art auction before. It is a photograph. It's got a $700 retail. We're sitting at $540. Let's get that up to $575, $600 so we can hit that $700. The next piece is by Marcy Friedman, a big friend of KVIE. She's shown at Archival Gallery. She's shown all over town. This is the cat piece that's got that great background. The piece has a real glow to it, and it's got a beautiful frame on it. We have someone on the phone right now that's bidding. I need $375 to raise that bid. Oh, I got $375. We need to get that bid up to $450. It's got a $2,200 value. So let's keep that rolling. Item number 5F is Carousel Blur by the incomparable Martin Christian. It's a beautiful piece. If you are one of those people that loves to go to the fair every year, it's got light, it's got color, it's got movement. It's a gorgeous photograph. It's at $200. It's got a $300 retail, and I think that retail's kind of low if you ask me. But the lines are open right now. You just call that number on your phone, and you can get in on the bidding. I'm going to go back and recap everything that's been in the last half hour because we're going to close them soon. The Picasso vase is a bell ringer. It's at $550. The retail is $5, but you can still bring it home if you call me right now. Piece number 5B, Perfection is the Child of Time, is by the amazing Lee Cavaljan. You need this as inspiration in your home somewhere. It's sitting at $325. I'd really like to see that get up to $500. Again, it's ceramic. It goes on the wall, and it's a really nice size. It's got a retail of $600. Call right now, and let's get that bid up to $400 or $500. Item number 5C is Splash by Victoria Brooks. It's beautiful. This needs to be in somebody's beach home. It's got a retail of $1,600. It's sitting at $450. I love to see somebody get a bargain, but I love to see KVIE get the money it needs even more. So let's get that bid up to about $550, $600, and get closer to that retail of $16. Item number 5D, the Surprise Glacier, sitting at $540. We need $700 for that one. Number 5E by Marcy Friedman is at $375. It's got a $2,200 value. Let's get that up. And number 5F, the Carousel Blur, is at $200. Let's make it a bell ringer and bump it up to $3. Stay with us because there's more art coming in the next half hour of your PBS KVIE art auction.
What's wrong with following the proven method? Isn't that the surest way to produce satisfactory results? Today, simply producing satisfactory results isn't good enough. We live in a rapidly changing landscape. Those changes require new solutions. Innovation challenges the idea that old solutions will continue to solve today's problem.
PBS KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through national productions like Poldark and Victoria, to our local productions like KVIE Arts Showcase and the PBS KVIE Gallery, exhibiting award-winning art auction artists and California masters. PBS KVIE's commitment to the arts stays strong because of your participation as a donor and art buyer. Thank you for being a part of the PBS KVIE art auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Coming up next is the California's Gold category. In tribute to Huell Hauser, California's Gold celebrates the beauty of California's scenery, heritage, and more. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction.
Good evening. I'm Dee Neath, the Art Lady, and thanks for joining us for California's Gold Break. It is our final half hour of the night, so let's keep things going. Here's an overview of the art that will be coming up for bid during the next half hour. Item number 6A is San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge by Karen Kogan. It's an oil on canvas and it measures 26 by 30 and has a retail value of $500. Item number 6B is Sacramento River Delta by KVIE favorite Barbara Arnold. This is an oil on canvas and it measures 18 by 24 and has a retail value of $800. Item number 6C is March Sunrise by Sue Grau. This is photography and it measures 16 by 24 and has a retail value of $400. Item number 6D is Autumn in the Valley by Kurt Hausman. This is an acrylic on canvas and measures 24 by 36 and has a retail value of $1,200. Item number 6E is Tahoe Park Poppies by Patricia Leenders. This is photography and it measures 12 by 24. It has a retail value of $150. Item number 6F is Alabama Hills Lone Pine by David Best. This is also a photo and measures 21 by 41. It was framed by Midtown Framing and it has a retail of $725. The phone lines are opening now for bidding, so let's head over to see the art with our auctioneer and our art expert.
Hello again, I'm Michael Sanford, and we're back for another 30 minutes of auction fun, this time with our California's Gold segment. I'd like to welcome back art expert Kelly Rains to discuss the artwork this half hour, starting with a look at the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. Item 6A, San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge by Karen Kogan, oil on canvas measuring 26 by 30 inches. Retail value is $500. Kelly, take it away.
Well, Karen's inspiration was San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. And as someone who used to live actually in this area in San Francisco, she's inspired me to maybe want to go do my own painting and actually revisit the city because it's been a while. So she's painted this Golden Gate from a close-up vantage point. I would say this is either maybe Baker's Beach or China Beach, kind of on the northwest end of San Francisco. So she's got these beautiful colors that are in contrast, the blues and the yellows down here in contrast with that international orange Golden Gate.
Yeah, it is. The colors are absolutely spectacular. And I think a lot of us have seen this probably in photographs dating back, almost 100 years. The Golden Gate Bridge was built in the late 1930s. But to see it portrayed with this kind of vibrancy is, I think, unique and pretty remarkable. You look over to the hills of Marin, you realize people are up there looking down on the bridge. People are probably enjoying the beach. There's just a lot going on, and even though it's a peaceful piece of artwork, I think there's some energy here too.
She's definitely captured the energy. I mean, because anyone who's visited this area or knows the area really well knows that these are pretty hefty waves.
Oh yeah,
they're going to knock somebody about if they kind of get in that water. So she's captured the energy, and I can even hear the sound of these waves crashing on the rocks. You can see them crashing here. And again, the contrast. What she's done so beautifully is she's captured this golden state here, down in the sand, and it's just it's almost like it's a reflection of the Golden Gate just above it.
That's a very good point. And yet, even though there's vibrancy here, there's also subtlety. If you look at the sky, there's just very, very light hint of clouds there, which I think adds some dimensionality to that part of the painting.
Yeah, you're always wondering, this is going to turn into fog pretty soon.
Yeah, that's right.
That we all know so well in San Francisco. And you can see the North Bay that's kind of peeking at us over here underneath the Golden Gate too. And I just love the energy. I love her brush strokes. And again, the lushness of her color is so astounding.
Yeah. As we think about the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's still a few years away from its centennial anniversary, but it's really become such an iconic symbol of San Francisco, and the fact that it's still so cherished today. And there have been new opportunities for people to wander on the south side of the bridge and get these fantastic views. This is a great memory piece for anybody who's ever enjoyed the bridge in any capacity.
Yeah, and as someone who's left her heart in San Francisco, if you've been there and you cherish the city, this is just a great reminder, and it's taking it home with you.
And as a reminder, this is item 6A, San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge by Karen Kogan, oil on canvas measuring 26 by 30 inches. Retail value is $500, and bidding is ongoing, so you see the number on your screen. Your opportunity to capture this wonderful piece of iconic San Francisco artwork. Final thoughts, Kelly?
Well, Karen likes to paint paintings that people can see themselves in, and I definitely can see any one of us in this painting looking up at the awe of the Golden Gate.
Absolutely. We're going to keep the bidding open on this and move on to our next item, which is 6B, Sacramento River Delta by Barbara Arnold. This is oil on canvas, measuring 18 by 24 inches. Its retail value is $800. Kelly, there's a simplicity and a unique beauty to this one, isn't there?
I love Barbara's work. She has studied with her mentor, the late Gregory Kondos. So she's very influenced by him. And I want to read a quote that she shared. She said he often would teach her how to see, basically picking out distinct elements representative of an otherwise complex scene. So we know these are trees, we know this is water, we know there's a little dwelling, but they're not realistic, but they're very much, we know that. And that gives us kind of an emotional response to the scene.
How would you interpret her interpretation of Kondo's work? How do you think his work influenced hers?
Well, definitely, I think, and just, you know, how he taught her. I'm sure I wasn't there, but I'm sure how he taught her. But he very much encouraged her to find her own style. In my notes somewhere, he said, with encouragement, she became bolder in the application of color and texture, often adding several layers of pigment before the painting was complete. So I think she took kind of his instruction and really embraced her own style of how to paint trees, how she saw trees, and you can kind of see that. And there are different kinds of trees, and you can see the movement. One of my favorite trees over here, where you just see these, I can hear the rustle in the trees here. These are just kind of laying down and drooping down. So she's got this very unique eye for the environment that she's in.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the trees that are actually above the surface on the top of the painting are very vibrant, very interesting, and then the reflections are quite a bit more muted, as you would expect in seeing a water reflection of something.
Absolutely. And I want to point out one of the reasons she paints landscapes is she travels along the Sacramento River Road daily, and she wants to embrace conserving the beautiful landscapes that we have in our area. And she hopes that by painting those that she can do that. And I also want to point out something that I learned from her is as you travel along the river roads here in the Sacramento Valley region, that a lot of these trees were planted by farming families.
Yeah.
And so they're identifiers for specific families. And I just love that she's embracing that in her paintings.
Well, one thing she certainly does share with Gregory Kondos is a love of the Delta, a love of the Sacramento River, as we all share. And to see different ways that artists interpret and enjoy and experience and share these beautiful spots with the rest of us, I think it's just one of the great enhancements of living here.
And she's capturing the deep colors of our agriculture and some of the choices that she's used in the trees and in the little shrubbery that's along the delta. And I love the line work that she has, very delicate but confident lines, and it's just a beautiful piece.
It really is. I like the fact, again, as we saw in the last painting, there's a subtlety to the water too. The water's got just some elements of white in it that suggests movement and opaqueness.
An opaqueness, a movement, and she's got a lot of movement, again, in the sky. You can see the movement in her brushstrokes. So she's very clever in how she's laying down the paint and also not just what she's painting.
Excellent piece of work. 6B by the Sacramento River Delta by Barbara Arnold. We're going to leave the bidding open on that, and we're going to move to our next item. This is item 6C, March Sunrise by Sue Grau. Photography measuring 16 by 24 inches. Retail value is $400. Wow, what a great photograph.
Wow, so this is a beautiful photograph. It's printed on metal, and she shares with us this is a sunrise and the Sutter Buttes with the Sacramento River from a levee walk in Colusa, California, excuse me. And she's just capturing this moment in time as the sun is setting. It's beautiful.
Well, our own Rob Stewart has done stories about the Sutter Buttes. He's hiked the Sutter Buttes. Sutter Buttes are one of those hidden, well, not so much hidden, but perhaps not fully known attractions in our region. The world's smallest mountain range, kind of out in the middle of the plains of the valley, and yet it's so gorgeous to go out there and visit. And I've never seen it captured with the Sacramento River in the foreground.
She's captured beautiful. I love that she's done a very vertical composition of it. It's capturing this vertical tree that's in the foreground and the height of the sunset, which, you know, you might think is just behind the buttes here, but it's also the height of it because it's recreated and down in the water too. So that sunset is a really, really tall sunset by the eye.
It is, and reflected so beautifully in the water. How does the fact that this is on metal, How does that enhance the photograph, Kelly?
Well, for me personally, one, we talked about this earlier, it removes the barrier between the viewer and the artwork. Usually, if a photo's on paper and it's behind glass, there is that barrier. But on metal, the colors pop more. There's a lushness, a vibrancy. She likes metal because it has a simplicity and for the overall effect that it has.
Well, one of the few things I've learned in my feeble attempts to take good photographs has been that it's always cool to add foreground. And to have this old tree just right at the water's edge to kind of break up the openness of the scene, I think really adds to it.
Well, it's kind of got a story to it. You know, as the viewer, if you're placing yourself here, you're kind of peeking in on this little vista point in the distance. And, you know, here's this tree that's been cut down or felled for some reason. And you're right, you're peeking in on the secret little moment that the buttes and nature are having.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. If you can't visit the buttes anytime in the near future, this is certainly the next best thing to have this really enhance your house, your office, any public space. People will look at this and say, wow. Is that the Sierra Nevadas? Is that the Grand Tetons? No, it's the Sutter Buttes right near our home.
I'd love to point out that Sue doesn't alter her photographs in any color or anything. She discovered for herself as an artist, she really liked to capture what is real. So the fact that she captured this lush and deep and energetic and vibrant colors in this composition is really, really beautiful.
And a reminder, this is item 6C, March Sunrise by Sue Grau. It's a photograph 16 by 24 inches. So it's a beautiful, just the right size, I think, to put it almost anywhere.
Yes, and I mentioned earlier maybe sunset, but this is actually sunrise, so I want to point that out and get that accuracy in there. But either way, she's captured this moment in time that's stunning.
Excellent, beautiful photograph. All right, well, we're halfway through the break, which means we're going to keep this piece open and check in over at the recap station for some bidding updates.
Okay, the first three works in this California Gold break are up for bid. So let's review while you pick up that phone and call the number on your screen. Item number 6A is San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge by Karen Cogan. It's an oil on canvas and it measures 26 by 30 and it has a retail value of $500. We have a high bid right now of $400, so we're just $100 shy of making that a bell ringer. Let's get it up there. Item number 6B is the Sacramento River Delta by Favorite Barbara Arnold. This is at $750. I need $800 so we can ring the bells and wake you guys up at home. So you can call that number. Anyway, that's item number 6B is at $750. Item number 6C, March Sunrise by Sue Grau, is photography and it measures 16 by 24. It's got a retail of $400. We're at $375. We are only $25 short of making that into a bell ringer. You just got to call the number on your screen and all these guys behind me will answer the phone and take your bid. Let's go back to number 6A. It's at $400. San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. It's got a retail of $500. It's a beautiful piece. It's framed and ready to go home. I need to see $500 on that so we can ring the bells. Item number 6B, Sacramento River Delta, ring the bells, is at $800. It's got an $800 retail, but we can still bring that up because Barbara loves to support her KVIE. Item number 6C is March Sunrise. It's sitting at $375. It's just a little below being a bell ringer. I want to see $450 on that because it's a beautiful piece. Sue Grau did a great piece of photography. It's on metal, so that thing just glows. That's item number 6C, which is March Sunrise. All you need to do to take one of these pieces home is to get on the phone and call that number. We've got great volunteers who will talk you through the process. The pickup is easy. That's right. Let's hear for the great volunteers. The pickup is easy, and the whole process is very streamlined. Again, 6C, March Sunrise is at $375. Let's bump that to $400. The artists want KVIE to make the retail price. These are pieces that sell in galleries at these prices, and you can bring them home. Anyway, let's take a look at the last three pieces of work of art for this night with Michael and the lovely Kelly.
If you're looking for some artwork that celebrates our region, we have an exciting collection this half hour. The piece for you could be right here. Up next, we're looking at item 6D, Autumn in the Valley by Kurt Hausman. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 24 by 36 inches. Its retail value is $1,200. Kelly, we were talking just a minute ago. You've already commented how much you love the brush strokes on this painting.
I love the brush strokes, and Kurt shared in the information that he sent when he submitted that he really focused on the brush strokes to create movement in the piece. And I think he's succeeded and actually far surpassed maybe his expectations and goal, because you just look at the brush strokes. I'm drawn immediately to the sky, these little swirly kind of, little curls that are in the sky, and it's creating like a swirl of energy in the clouds, and the brush strokes coming down on the granite on the side of that mountain, and then the brush strokes and the foliage, and then you've got the rocks going up and the foliage here, and then the brush strokes of the rocks. It's just like there's movement everywhere, and I love it.
You make a really good point about that. Brush strokes really illustrate energy and activity by the painter, and what we see here, obviously the Yosemite Valley in autumn is a peaceful place, but there's a lot going on. It's the change of seasons. Things are happening. And he's captured the natural movement of the seasons, I think, through the various things that he's portraying here.
He's just, and I have a small confession. I've lived in California for many, many years. I've never been to Yosemite. And seeing a painting like this, it's really a love letter to Yosemite and California in general, and it makes me want to go there. But I'm so grateful that we have the painting here to look at. He specializes in portraying a bold sense of color to convey not only the form or shape of the subject, but again, also the movement and light. And you see that light coming up here in the yellows that he's used near the rocks, and the deep dark purples in the foliage, and some of the rocks over here in the blues, and the greens and the foliage. It's just, I could go on and on and on about his use of color and his brushstrokes.
This is quite amazing. I'm thinking this is El Capitan on the left. Don't quote me on that. But the fact is that we're seeing the amazing clouds that you often see in Yosemite Valley. And then you've got, obviously, the vibrancy of the fall colors, which is, just a brief moment in time up there. He was there at just the right time. He said, I've got to capture this, and he's done so just beautifully. You still see the evergreens. You still see the beautiful water that flows through the Merced River, but you're seeing just the fall colors popping out, which is an experience that I think everybody, you included, should have at least once in the fall in Yosemite.
It's just, it's a meditative piece to look at, because there's always something new to look at. Like, I could get lost in these trees over here for, a ton of time, and just in the gurgling of the water that's over here, and that sky. I'm in love with that sky. I'm probably maybe going to copy that sky at some point because it's so beautifully done, and I love his brush strokes. And then the looming El Capitan in the background.
Yes. Well, a reminder, this is Autumn in the Valley by Kurt Hausman, acrylic on canvas, 24 by 36 inches, retail value $1,200. Yeah, I probably have my important highlights of Yosemite mixed up. That probably is El Capitan. But the point is, there's not an emphasis, as you see in so many paintings, of the waterfalls. Waterfalls are a little bit less powerful in the fall anyway, and I think the fact that Kurt has opted to focus on the fall colors really helps this stand out.
It's so beautiful, and I love the way he's laying the colors down, these contrasts of the oranges with the deep purples and the reds, and the greens with the kind of chartreusey gray lemon yellows in the stone. It's beautiful.
All right, we're going to keep the bidding open on this. The number is on your screen. Now is the time to call. Autumn in the Valley by Kurt Hausman. Let's move on to the next item, which is item 6E, Tahoe Park Poppies by Patricia Leenders. This is photography measuring 12 by 24 inches. Retail value is $150. I always love our California state flower when it's captured and portrayed so beautifully. A simple photograph, but such an incredibly fun and beautiful one to look at.
I love Patricia's work because it's very intimate, it's up close, it's very personal. She was out for a walk on a spring day and just, took a picture of these poppies in the moment. It's a digital photograph on canvas, and it's gallery wrapped, meaning it's going around to the sides. So these poppies are looming large beyond the canvas for us.
One of the things I like about great photography like this is that at first glance you don't know if it's a painting or a photograph. either way, it's so clear and concise and beautiful and vibrant, and there's a three-dimensionality to it.
There is a three-dimensionality, and there's movement. I love how she's captured and she's composed this shot. One of the things I loved, and I've talked about this before probably in other works of art, is that it goes beyond the canvas. So she's given us enough detail to know this is a little field of poppy flowers, but she's giving us enough information to know that there's a bigger expanse here that we can enjoy if we're out in nature.
Yes, and this is an opportune moment to point out that this whole collection is titled California's Gold, celebrating all of the art that reflects the beauty of our region and of California. And nothing more appropriate than California's gold than these golden poppies.
This is a photograph that I would love to start my day with and love to end my day with wherever I hung it in my home or my office. The vibrant colors, it's just a little bit of nature, and I love the composition. And again, I love that it's gallery wrapped. You know, from any side, I'm getting a full view of poppies.
Can't you imagine this in a sunny kitchen or in an entryway, actually anywhere in your house? It'll just lift the spirits in that room each and every day that you look at. Again, item 6E, Tahoe Park Poppies by Patricia Leenders, 12 by 24 inches, just the right size to go anywhere.
Just the right size.
And I do like the fact that it's wrapped around, so you can approach it from the side and still begin to enjoy it right away.
And it's, again, I love the intimacy of it, that she's captured this moment in time that any one of us can enjoy when we go out for our walks, if we're able to.
Absolutely. You know, the fact that it's horizontal like this, usually you would think poppies, they grow up so you want a vertical photograph. Not the case here. It looks great to see a wider expanse, I think, of the flowers.
Absolutely. And we can see these little poppies right here. We know because it's gallery wrapped. We know those poppies aren't giving up. They're curling around. They're still there. They're just kind of, you know, breaking the view for us.
Beautiful photograph. Thank you, Patricia. We're going to keep the bidding open on this and move on to our next item, item 6F, Alabama Hills Lone Pine 422 by David Best. This is photography measuring 21 by 41 inches. It's framed by Midtown Framing, and it has a retail value of $725. I love everything about this.
Right.
We can start from the framing, which is the most basic, and just move our way into the great photograph.
It's such a stunning piece. I've been a fan of his work for a really long time, and I'm going to read my notes so I don't mess anything up. This is taken from the Alabama Hills Lone Pine, Alabama Hills outside of Lone Pine. And he's been going there for about the past 30 years because it's such a glorious range along the Sierra Nevada. And every time of the year, there's any kind of possible weather condition. So he said just being in this wonderful spot inspired him to take this photo. And I want to read, for this picture alone, he was racing to another favorite spot when he saw that he didn't have time to make it there. So, because the light was changing so fast that he only had a few moments to capture this scene, and capture it he did.
What a gorgeous reminder of how blessed we are in California and on the Nevada side to have the Sierra Nevada mountains in all their complexity and all their geographic diversity. I'm not that familiar with the Alabama hills, but it just makes me want to go there when you see the ruggedness of the mountains in the foreground and then how they're kind of kissed by the clouds, maybe a touch of snow in the background. And then the varying light that he captured is quite remarkable.
What I'm always so grateful to artists, and especially photographers, is that they go to places oftentimes that we're not able to go, and the work that it takes to get there, to get these moments in time. And I also want to point out that this is a panoramic photo that's made up with 11 different images, which he shot in quick order, with about a 50% overlap so that they would align perfectly in his Photoshop program. So not only did he had to race, you know, in space and time to capture this moment, but he had to work through space and time after it to compose this beautiful image that we have.
He is the past best of show winner here at the art auction. And in fact, what we see here is a seamless panorama. When I take panoramic pictures, they're choppy. I haven't figured out how to make them seamless. But clearly, when you see such a wide range of this mountain range in this horizontal format, it just allows you for your eye to travel all the way across and enjoy every part of it.
It's breathtaking. And the composition, I love that he's captured all kinds of different light in this photograph as well. You can see the light peeking through the clouds along this mountain range here, but it's also peeking through the clouds in the foreground down lower. And so there's a little light peeking out through the clouds here. So he really is a master at capturing light as well.
And there's such a sense of anticipation when you look at these clouds. Is it going to rain? Is there going to be a massive thunderstorm? Is it going to snow? Or is it going to clear up and be a beautiful afternoon? it's just fun to watch this because you're watching nature in motion.
Well, David has a very strong sense of drama. This is a dramatic photograph, and he's captured that drama, and you can have that drama at home to enjoy all the time, too.
All right, once again, item 6F, Alabama Hills Lone Pine, 422 by David Best, photography 21 by 41. Bidding is ongoing, so call on this and all of the other great artwork that you've seen. We're nearing the end of this break, which means that now is your final opportunity to bid on the art featured in this half hour. I'd like to thank Kelly Rains for sharing her expertise with us as an art expert. Now let's check in over at the recap station for an update on auction bidding.
We have just minutes to go here for tonight's portion of the auction, just minutes. So don't miss out on your opportunity to win artwork that can be on your wall as early as this Sunday. You're supporting KVIE and PBS with your art purchase, and you're also supporting the arts of our region at the very same time. So let's do a review. Item number 6D is Autumn in the Valley by Kurt Hausman. It has a retail value of $1,200. We are halfway there with a bid of $600. You got to call the number on your screen and get in your bid. Let's get that up to $700, $800 so we can get closer to that retail price. Item number 6E is Tahoe Park Poppies by Patricia Leenders. This is a photograph that measures 12 by 24. It's on canvas, which is really cool because it wraps around the edge of the piece. It's item 6E. It's got a retail of $150. We're at $110, which is so close to being a bell ringer. Somebody just call and give me that next $40 so we can make it $150 and ring the bells. Item number 6F is Alabama Hills Lone Pine. That has got a retail value of $725. It's by award winner David Best, and it is stunning. It's $725 in a gallery near you. It's right now at $175. So let's get that up closer to the retail value, and I'm going to run through everything real quick so you know what the prices are right now. Item number 6A is San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge by Karen Cogan, who is working the phone bank right now. So that has a retail of $500. Call her up, put in another $25, and let's get that $475 bid up to being a bell ringer. And thank you for volunteering, Karen. Item number 6B is the Sacramento River Delta by Barbara Arnold. It's a bell ringer. It is at $850. It has a retail of $800, but it can still go home with you if you call that number on your screen. Item number 6C is March Sunrise. It's another bell ringer. It's got a bid of $475 and a retail of $400. So let's just march that one right up to $5. Item number 6D is Autumn in the Valley. It's got a value of $1,200. It's a stunning piece. Right now it's sitting at $600. Let's get that up to $700 or $800 by calling that number. These are the last pieces we're selling tonight. So let's get number 6E is Tahoe Park Poppies. It's at $110. It needs to be $150. 6F is Alabama Hills. It's at $175, and it's got a value of $725. That's all for the first day of the 2022 PBS KVIE Art Auction. Watch live tomorrow starting at noon for 10 more hours of auction excitement featuring works from the Short Center, Auburn Old Town Gallery, Sacramento Fine Arts Center, and so much more. Thank you for watching and supporting KVIE, your PBS station, and have a great night.
Sacramento River Delta. The current bid is $550. Would you like to pay? Market Street.
Hey Steve, can we go ahead and close out A apple? This is A apple.
I'm sorry. Whatever it is, so what we'll do. What's the situation? Oh,
Steve, can we start closing these out?
So what would you like to bid? Officially, it already has, but you got one and going yes, it's currently at $475. I would like to bid $500. Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, no. So they're up bid.
They're outbid.
They're outbid.
Okay, you're outbid. Hold on a second. Let me find out what the bid is. Is it closed or is it just set out? Correct. Oh,
I already closed it out. We already
Oh, it's
closed the winner
closed.
of the winner, so she cannot take it.
Oh, good. No, that would be it. It's already closed. I'm sorry, Peter. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Hold on. Oh, yeah. This is the time has gone so fast. Oh, yes. Larry, is it closed? Oh, okay. It's very interesting. It's closed? Okay. I'm sorry, Peter, it's closed. Just missed it. Is there another piece that you'd like? Is there another piece you'd like to bid on?
Close out B.
Winning bids for items. You're registered, you know.
10 to 12.
I'm sorry.
Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. They're watching at the TV.
Paso Bays, yeah.
Huey called to see if he could bid on 26 whatever. I'm like, dude.
Oh, the kite. Yeah, he's the one that's the one who's been on that figured it.
Yeah, no, I think he's got to check with his wife.
Well done.
Well, if you go on KVIE.com/art auction, I actually can find out what art pieces are going to be available tomorrow and Sunday. I'll be here all day Saturday. I do, but you know, it's all good. I'm very lucky that my daughter's close by. All of those Oh, okay. Well, thank you for calling. Appreciate your support. Fine. All right. Bye-bye. How are you, sir?
That's at 625.
The ones tomorrow, the oldest are not right. The youngest is 6. So, are we done, Larry? It'll be fun.
Yes.
And you know, they all clamor for all my attention all at the same time. Is she the winner? Not yet. I'm trying to interpret your yeses.
I'm trying to get her to come over here.